It's the Fighter and the Wolf today. Brian Callen is out of the office. He's a busy working actor. He's with the Goldbergs. But I sent out the Wolf signal, and I think we got a guy who's better looking than Brian Callen. And I don't know what you do, man, but I said, yo, I want to bring you a shirt. I'm going to bring you our new On It collab shirt. And I assumed you wore a large to blast those guns because you're using On It products. Maybe. Yeah. That was my assumption. I don't know. But you guys know the deal. Firing the Kid Army. Onit.com. And Josh is the best laugh in the business. Onit.com/fighter. 10% off. If you're bored with your workout, that's onnit.com/academy for all your workout needs. You guys know the deal. Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech. They just dropped some new tees for you guys. And then obviously the Fire and the Kid collab shirt with Onnit. Get the red one at onnit.com right now. Get the gray one at tfatk.com. They're going fast. Only a few are left. If you guys are listening to this right now, hurry and get to both websites and purchase those bad boys. The first 500, I don't know where we're at, but I got to throw this out. The first 500 get the free signed fight poster from the Kid and myself. There you go. That's onnit.com, onnit.com/fighter for 10% off. And moving on, we have the West Coast tour. The Fire and Kid are coming to you live, like for reals, live. We start in San Francisco. We go San Francisco, Sacramento, Seattle, Portland, Las Vegas, and end this bad boy in San Diego. Tickets are going fast. We just got the numbers the other day. They're going super fast. So we appreciate you guys. Hurry up and get your tickets now at tfatk.com for the West Coast tour, baby. All right, let's get into it, my man. Well, the legend himself, the Wolf.
You did not tell them what my response to you was when you said, what size T-shirt do you want? And I said, it depends how good I want my arms to look.
Legit concern.
I mean, let's be honest.
That's how guys think.
Let's be honest, because a medium squeezes the vein a little bit, so it makes it look more vascular.
I didn't know what you were going for. If you have a show, maybe you want that medium. If you have large hanging at home, you know?
Oh, no. Large is something I'm walking around the house. As soon as I had extra medium is what I...
You just take the medium and throw it in the dryer.
Yeah, twice.
Back to back.
Yeah, back to back on high to get a little bit, because look, us smaller guys just need a little help every now and then.
I hear you, man.
I mean,
smaller guys.
I'd be lying to you. Maybe I do a push-up or two before I go on stage. Just when I walk out, people can be like,
damn, look at him.
Yeah, all vascular and
dude,
shit.
I've turned down photo shoots because I'm so self-conscious of my body where I've turned down, pretty big deals where I'm like, I can't. I need 6 weeks for all juice diet before I do that. I have to.
By the way,
do you have Photoshop? No. Budget. Photoshop's not in the budget. Nah, I'm good.
You said all juice diet, not all Jews diet, right?
All
Okay, all Jews. I'm a Jew. I'm a little sensitive what's going on right now. I thought you said all Jew diet. I'm like, whoa, we're eating Jews?
And I'm also not talking about the juice that a lot of guys are on. I'm talking about like veggie juice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some people get it confused.
Did you ever get but you're a size. You never were tempted, right, to have to do it, or you were?
I wouldn't say that. I would say I was tempted every day of my career.
Really?
Yeah, because in playing major Division I football, you see these guys bigger and faster, and they're probably on different stuff than you are. Mm-hmm. It's tempting because the goal is to make it to the NFL. So if you have a great college career, you can make a lot of money in the NFL typically. So I mean the temptations was always
why didn't
there.
you do it?
I think I was more scared. I was a smart guy. I think a lot of guys do it. Either they have someone smart in them helping them. They have a really wise doctor who knows the in and outs, so they know the testing, or they're just too dumb and think they're never going to get caught and just do it. For me, it was too much of a risk because when you do that and you get caught, A, you're kind of screwed depending who you are. B, your family, it shames your family. C, I was a good college player. I was an Adrian Peterson,
right.
So my white ass is probably going to get cut. Yeah. I was a white running back. They're looking for a reason to cut me.
Yeah, unless your name. And this, what's funny, who Toby Gerhardt is?
Yes.
Dude.
White Stanford running back.
Keeps getting jobs. And then I look at his stat line every week. It's like 4 carries, 6 yards. I'm like, maybe it's time.
It's going to be close, man. A guy like that, it's tough.
I have to tell you, now I played college baseball. I was never good enough to play pros, but I thought about it all the time. I looked at marginal baseball players who suddenly became, Sammy Sosa is a great example of that. That dude was a 230 hitter with no pop.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Would you, in hindsight, what it is, right? You're Sammy Sosa. Everyone knows that you're juicing. Now, but you had that career and you have that money. Worth
Bro, 100%.
I think so too.
But this is the thing in baseball. You're not hurt. You're not physically hurting anyone.
True.
In football, if I take steroids and it makes me run a faster 40 so I can hit guys harder, you're physically hurting people. In fighting in the UFC, if I take steroids, and I fought guys who tested positive, many guys. I was more tempted in the UFC than ever to take steroids.
Why?
We'll get into it. But so in the UFC, I take steroids. I punch a guy harder. I'm going to change the path of his life.
Right.
Baseball, we're hitting balls. No one's getting physically hurt. I want my guys juiced up.
So I
want my guys like Mark McGwire.
You're saying baseball and even basketball, you'd be okay with it.
100%.
It's the more physical sports that you're not okay with.
Yes. It's the sports that will change the other athlete's career.
What if you said it's going to be legal for everybody? Up to you whether you take it. Does that change it for you? Because now you go, okay, it's legal. It's legal in the sport. I know some guys are deciding to go pure, but a lot of guys aren't. But it's legal. No shame, no kicking out of the league, no fine. Do you do it?
You're talking MLB or NFL?
NFL or fighting. Do you do it? No, it's legal, above board. It's open to everybody to do it under a doctor's care because, some guys are going to go crazy and they're going to kill themselves. But under a doctor's care. So they're giving you the right of...
Because you got to think, you take steroids, HGH, just prolong your career.
Yep.
You can train harder. You physically look better. You feel better. That results in more knockouts, which results in more money, sponsorship from the UFC. It'd be hard not to. You look at a guy like Vitor Belfort.
Right.
He was the poster child of TRT. He looked like a Greek goddess.
Yeah.
And then they're like, dude, you can't do that anymore. It's not the same guy. Granted, he just knocked out Dan Henderson. He appeared that he was also taking stuff. Maybe not as much. But you talk about Vitor on TRT. He's the best in the world.
Can you tell when you're fighting somebody? Can you tell they got a little extra?
Every time.
How can you? How?
At weigh-ins. I've been around athletes my entire life.
Just because the way they look?
The way they look. If you did a before and after picture from their last fight to the recent fight, you can tell. There's tons of ways to tell. You got to remember, I grew up in gyms. So we knew the guys who were on sauce, the guys who weren't. And some guys, it's hard for people to understand. There's some guys who are just genetically gifted, and that's the way they look.
Yeah.
And people go, no, he's on steroids. No, I'm telling you, a lot of them aren't. I've seen these freaks, man. But then there's some guys like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
Can you tell in the ring?
Yes.
Why? Stamina? All that
Stamina
stuff?
early in the first round, like the way they feel, how physically strong they are. Again, playing football and being around these huge, strong guys, and then you can feel something where it's just not natural. It's just not a natural strength.
That's amazing that you can tell, you can be that in tune with it. I have to tell you, I'm holding up all right for my age.
Yeah, you
but
look great.
I'm not against HGH. Like, my doctor asked me about it, which she was like, would you ever want to? I go, listen, if I feel like I'm going downhill. Robert Downey Jr. is not 55 in Iron Man because it's all natural.
Oh, I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, Hollywood is prevalent as sports.
I would say more so because nobody is, and women are taking HGH in Hollywood because nobody's booting you out of Hollywood. They're encouraging it. That's why my doctor asked me, if you want to stay on TV for longer, I was being pushed into it.
Well, let me add the same thing with you. So if you look at Ben Affleck or you look at Will Smith when he played Muhammad Ali, dude, you got to get on some shit, man.
Jake
so
Gyllenhaal?
If they come to you, Jake Gyllenhaal and Southpaw.
Yeah.
So if they come to you and go, hey, man, we want you to be the next Batman. We need you to put on 40 pounds of lean muscle. Hey, you're not doing that with steak and potatoes, man.
No.
And you got to do 3 of those bad boys?
Yeah. I'm doing it 100%.
Why not?
It's not even a question.
You're not
doing
hurting
it.
anyone.
No.
I'm doing it and I'm excited.
Yeah.
As fuck.
And I'm gonna buy tiny underwear and walk around my house.
Oh, there's gonna be what? There's gonna be selfies everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Instagram just be like the games are real. Batman 3.
Making eggs. I would
Struggle's real. # diet all day.
But here's the thing, I wouldn't hide it. Like I know some people are like, we're putting it in the gym. If I was taking, do you know what I mean?
We're putting it in the gym. Yeah. Late night gym work.
Yeah.
No, there's none of that.
If I'm taking HGH, I think I'd be above board because why not? Why not? What? I don't understand.
Because then people think you're taking the easy way out, even if you're not in sports. So the reason you don't see celebrities doing it, and even celebrities hide their plastic surgery, right? Nose job, whatever.
But how can you hide that when you look completely different than you did yesterday?
It's the culture we're in because people shame them, right? They body shame them. So they want to hide it.
But
everyone knows, but you just don't come out and say it.
I will tell you this. a plastic surgery to me, let's just go with women first. If you're putting makeup on, you're changing your identity.
True.
You're changing the way you look.
True.
So I'm not sure why that's different than fake tits, Botox. They're just doing whatever they want to do to make themselves feel better.
I agree. They're enhancing their look.
To the way they like it, right?
True, but the culture we live in, so there's a recent fighter, a legend. I fought the guy's name's Mirko Krokop. He's the first UFC fighter to fail the new drug testing, which is very strict, and it's random, and it's ran by VADA, which is, they could come at 4 a.m. You have no idea when they come. They come 365 days a year.
Really?
It's the strictest testing in the world. There's only been one guy who's been caught. It just started as of January.
How many times can they come random testing?
I'm sorry, it started in October maybe. They can come as many times as they want.
Oh, not like baseball. You know, baseball is they come before the season starts, and they can only come once, I believe.
Nope. They come 365 days a year. You have to tell them where you're at, where you're working, where your workouts are.
What are they testing for?
Everything. Testosterone, HGH, steroids, blood doping, EPO.
Wait, they're taking your blood?
Yes.
Oh, that's like Olympic shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's the strictest testing there is in the sport. So Mirko Krokop, a legend. He's never been busted before. Everyone assumes because he fought in Pride, he was taking stuff. If you didn't, you're an idiot. So he was the first fighter to test positive. He came out and said before he was supposed to fight, I think in 2 weeks in Korea. He was the main event, and. Or maybe not the main event, but he was just in there. But he was he pulled out and said, I have an injury, I can't fight. But the real reason he pulled out is because the drug testing came to his house, found out he was doping. But he came out and said, listen, and he's 37, 38 probably. He's older, man. He's old. He has like, you know, with kickboxing and everything, probably 100 fights.
But don't you almost, if you want to compete at 37, 38, don't you need that?
100%. So he goes, listen, I hurt my shoulder. It wasn't getting better. I went to a doctor. He gave me shots of HGH and spun my blood.
Yeah.
And I told the testers that's what I was doing. He's like, I have to do it so I can make sure to make this fight. Even with that, he's getting backlash. To me as an athlete, I get it, man. The pressure to fight, trying to pay the bills. You want this fight. You don't want because by him pulling out screws over the UFC, especially in Japan or Korea. It's a huge fight. So him pulling out screws. He was trying to be a company man and still do it, but now he's shamed. Now he's by the public because the public who aren't athletes look at him and go, dude, you're a cheater. Now you've always been a cheater. That's not true.
I don't understand the backlash. I don't understand why people care so much. And I also think like it's really easy for somebody to say who trains in a gym and takes boxing lessons. Do you know what I mean? Well, I would never do that. Or do you know, it's so easy for someone from the outside who played high school football to be like, oh, I would never take HGH. No, you have no idea what. All I can tell you is I know a professional football player who said flat out, if I wasn't taking HGH to recover, there's no way I play every Sunday. There's no way. He said your body by the end of the season, forget who's on the injury list. He said your body, every part of your body is brutalized. He said, look at that. Think about when you just run your shin into the table at your house. You're like, oh my fucking God,
yeah,
right?
It's bad.
He has grown men running a 4.5 in jamming their helmets to tackle him into his shin every 20 times a game, right?
At least.
No padding. No padding. Okay.
No padding, yes.
He was like, your whole body is so beat up. And that's the reason the NFL won't get too strict, because they know if they get too strict, people are going to start dropping like flies.
Your stars, especially your older stars, quarterbacks, running backs, are going to start dipping out.
Like flies. Dropping like flies.
The thing is, but if you laid out for people, look at Ryan Braun. Remember Ryan Braun?
Yeah.
MVP, Milwaukee Brewers. He was a very average player. Then just fucking took off, whatever, 50, 60 home runs. Signed, I think, a $140 million bonus or something like that. All guaranteed. Was suspended. His problem is he threw people under the bus, but
that's the worst part.
That's the worst part.
Yeah.
He was suspended for a year. He went to like Costa Rica or some shit with his $140 million. Came back. People still cheering for him.
Do you think he should have to give some of that money back? I mean, they did sign a player who no longer exists under the premise that he was that guy, because he went and looked straight into the camera and threw a bunch of people under the bus.
That's the issue.
Ruined a life.
That's like Lance Armstrong.
Yep, ruined a life. That's the thing with Lance Armstrong and Ryan Braun. I can't really forgive, because they both ruined lives.
They ruined lives. They were hypocrites. That's the thing with. So there's a fighter in our sport, Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
You know, Chael, he got busted with I think EPO and testosterone and all this stuff. But his thing was he was anti all blood doping, all this stuff, and was calling other fighters out. So when he got caught, they're like, bro,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, if you're just quiet, that's the thing. If you go bad on people, then if you do get busted, you're screwed, man.
Dude, knowing that I was going to come on here, I wrote down, do you mind if I ask you some questions before you get to, okay.
Let's do it.
Because I watched the fight, and I know you guys have probably talked about Ronda's fight ad nauseum. So,
Sure.
But here's what I was curious about. Okay. First, when you're in the ring and the fight is going the way it was for her, is there a point where you are like, I know I'm about to lose, it's just a matter of when? Do you know what I mean? Is there a point where you're like, I'm not getting through here, all I'm doing is getting punched, I'm kind of fucked, but it's not like I can put my hands down? Is there ever a point? Do you know what I'm asking?
I know what you're saying.
She
Where you're
looked defeated.
She was defeated. She's also never lost a round before,
right?
You know? So I think at her level, and I've been down around, but you don't get to that level without thinking you can always win. Like all right, well, hopefully I get a hold of her, and I'm sure Ronda's thinking, all right, I just got to get her to the ground. I'm going to submit her. Hopefully I can just get a hold of her because stand-up's not working. But if you've never been there, it's a shock for her. So and I think it was more surprising, and it was more of a oh shit moment. Like, oh fuck. A, you're like, I didn't prepare for this. B, I'm in big trouble. But you're never going to give up, right? But there is a, oh, shit, I didn't prepare for this, right? Oh, shit, she's way better than I thought.
Right.
Oh, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, then there's my next question. I'm assuming when you get into the ring, because your training has been so intense, a lot of it's muscle memory, right? A lot of it, right? And so a lot of great fighting is not thinking, it's instinctual. Is that right?
Yes, reacting.
When you're getting hit like that, because she looked like she was thinking the entire... At that point, it went from somebody who I had seen just fighting, she looked like she was thinking. Does that make sense? Like,
well, because she had to, because before, right, her last 3 fights, all, 64 seconds total or some shit? You don't really have to think, right? You're just doing this, and this. And then you get a girl where you're like, oh, shit, this isn't working.
Right.
And then you start, now the first time in her life inside the octagon, she's had to think about what she's going to do. And then you can see a slower Ronda.
Yeah.
You see her winding up her shots, and Holly's just relaxed.
When you start to think, are you fucked?
Super fucked. Super fucked.
Because you're not reacting anymore.
It's my biggest issue. Because I consider myself, one of the smarter fighters. So I would analyze everything. I would study tape religiously and to almost a default where I knew what they would do in certain situations. And I wasn't reacting. I was thinking about what he was going to do. So if they mixed something up that I thought he was going to do, it screwed me over. You know what I'm saying? I was almost like a robot. I was almost like RoboCop. So I would look at someone and go, ding, 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 80% here. If we're here, 30%. He throws a right kick here. If you shoot here, he's going to react like this. So I'm like this robot. That's not good, man.
You need to be loose because that was the difference.
And do your thing.
Yeah.
Fuck what they do. Who cares if he throws a kick?
Make them react to you.
Yes. You're in charge.
So for the
first time we saw Ronda, little bit like, I don't have an answer for this. My takedowns aren't working. She's outstriking me. I can't get her down. Holy fuck.
I was very impressed with her chin, dude. She took some pretty powerful shots to the face.
Yeah, I mean they're 135 pound girls, but yeah.
But so was she.
I was more impressed with Holly Holm's just tenacity and the way. So I didn't walk away from that. See,
you're not supposed to chase a puncher, are you?
It's tough, man, especially with good footwork. Ronda has to though. What's she gonna do? Sit on the outside? She had to. So. For me and the entire media is doing this, they're all focused on what Ronda did wrong, what Ronda had going on in her life, what is Ronda going to do next. But can we just chalk it up to she got outclassed and got beat the fuck up?
Holly looked just more prepared, dude. She looked more prepared.
I just think, and I thought Ronda was going to beat her ass straight up. And I've known Holly forever. Holly's a tremendous fighter, great person. I just thought Ronda was on this path where no one's going to beat her until she retired. Boy, was I wrong. I ate my words. But at the same time, we should be acknowledging Holly because what Ronda needed in this sport was a nemesis. And we kind of found Holly. Yeah. But that fight's not even close. And I don't think it's going to be close. If they fight next, whenever July or the end of the year, that's not enough time for Ronda. Ronda would need at least a year to 2 years to work on her stand-up to get to Holly Holm's level.
Okay, here's my next question then. You take her, because I equate it to Tyson, where he was just walking into places and demolishing people, right? And then what happens when that aura is gone with other fighters? Does it make her easier to beat?
Yes, 100%, because it makes her easier to beat and makes it harder to promote her. Because female fighting in general, the only reason it's big is because of Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She brought that to the world's attention, right? So we owe her that. That's great. But why do we call her Mike Tyson? Because she's finishing girls, she's intimidating, stuff like that. That's the only correlation to Mike Tyson. As far as boxing skills,
right,
she's not even the same fucking planet.
No,
they're
agree,
not
agree.
even.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So she has the Mike Tyson effect where she was scaring girls.
That's what I mean.
In.
She was scaring them almost to lose.
Yes,
they were done before they touched gloves.
Now that's gone, right?
Yes.
Same thing with Tyson. So as soon as someone went, no, fuck this dude. As soon as Evander Holyfield was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm better than he is. As soon as you get that goes out the window. So Floyd Mayweather, he's known as greatness and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. If Floyd would have lost, right, we would have just torn that star down, and he wouldn't have that same persona. He probably wouldn't be able to sell the TBE, the best ever, all that stuff. Yeah. Now that persona's gone from Ronda, it's tough, man. It's tough. So, and I don't see her beating Holly.
Okay, this goes on to my next question, was really because it's the idea of confidence, right?
Yes.
As an athlete, I'm going to list you. Let's go 5 things. I want you to tell me in order of importance for the athlete. Okay. Intelligence. Talent, which we'll put in speed and strength in talent.
Okay.
Coaching, practice, repetition.
Okay.
Confidence and heart.
I'd say heart number 1.
Heart's first for athlete.
Number 1. You're not going.
No matter what.
No matter what.
In the ring, heart, everything.
In everything. Because if you don't have heart, you're not making it anywhere. And never more so than fighting. If there's guys who they don't have much skills at all, but they have this crazy heart and they've gone fucking far.
Can you think of somebody? You think of a guy who talent wise you were like, oh, he's going to be amazing, and he just never got over the hump?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, have I trained with guys where I trained with one guy heavyweight. Again, I'm not going to call him out because we bummed out, but I trained with this guy and he's been to other camps, and I was like, I don't see this guy ever losing. How the fuck is this guy ever going to lose? He's the best I've ever seen. Then he got into the UFC, and he's not shit.
Why? Because in the ring, heart. He has all the skills and training where you watch him and you're like, oh my God, that guy's amazing. But in the ring,
you know he's going to break. When those lights turn on, he's going to melt.
Okay, so for you, heart number 1.
Heart number 1.
So we have confidence.
Number 2, by far.
Really?
By far.
More than coaching and repetition and all that shit.
Yes. Which is interesting, right? Because if you have heart and confidence and you believe in yourself, those are the two. You're not getting off the starting line. So if I have a Ferrari, but it has a Civic engine, who gives a fuck?
Right.
You want that Ferrari, you want that driver confident he's going to win, and it has that Ferrari, intel, all that stuff. But if I have a fighter with no heart and no confidence, you're not winning a single fight. You'd be Mike Tyson, you're not winning a fight. That's the reason why we see.
By the way, I would say the same thing for stand-up.
Right?
To me,
confidence. Because you can tell when a guy gets on stage.
Confidence is the number 1.
A guy gets on stage and he's kind of like, I'd watch a ton of stand-up. Obviously, nowhere near your level. You're a stand-up comedian. But whenever I go with Cal, I go to all these shows, I'll watch guys and I can tell right away. I'm like, oh, he's no confident. You
know what else is like? You can sell a joke on confidence. And by the way, to me, I love watching Callan because who he is on stage, the overconfident guy that he plays sells so many jokes and makes them so much better.
Way more funnier.
Yeah. Yes. So you see there are some guys where I watch him on stage and I'm like, oh, I'm sure he's a great writer. I'm sure because I listen to his jokes and I'm like, those are funny.
Yes.
But he's not the guy to deliver those.
He can't act on those.
Yeah.
So in fighting, and people get in trouble with it, and I think this is why Ronda's star has fallen so far down. I've never seen. Me and Rogan and some other guys were talking the other day. I've never seen a star fall so hard. As far as
is it deserved?
Yes, because we'll get in that. But the thing is, the reason why she fell so hard because people go, they're cocky. They're cocky. You have to have that confidence to get to a world-class level. And you have to believe you're the very best. You're never going to lose. You have to be humble in a way, but at the same time, like the trash talk that Muhammad Ali talked, he was talking to himself, convincing himself he's the best in the world. Ronda Rousey, when she talks like that, I think she crossed the line where she actually thought she walked on water,
Yeah.
which is weird, and that's why this backlash comes.
I think the no glove tapping at the beginning of the fight turned some people off. No touch on the gloves.
It's her whole demeanor.
Yeah.
It's that whole bully demeanor, bitch this, don't be a do-nothing bitch.
So does she, that confidence that you're talking about, whether it was real or she needed it, how does she find that again after taking that ass whipping? You're telling me right now the confidence, and I think just listening to her and watching her, desire is not a problem for her. Heart, she seems to have that in spades.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
You know
She's
her better
all
than
heart.
all heart. Okay. Confidence.
Might be a black heart, but she's all heart.
How does somebody then regain that level of confidence, which you're telling me is the second most important thing for her? How does she regain that?
This when we find out what kind of fighter she is, because fighting, football, baseball, being a comic, being an actor, it's fun when you're on top.
Yeah.
It's like, hell yeah. When I was in the UFC, I won 4 in a row knocking guys out. It's like, dude, this is great. I could do this all day. Everyone's
didn't I do this
the best ever. High fiving right on. Drinks, money, drugs, bitches.
Yeah.
And then
that sounds
you
pretty
lose.
good, by the way.
And then you lose, and it's like, oh shit.
How fast does it go away?
It depends on the person, man. With Ronda, it's tough because it's different because I had a fight where super young in my career, the finale where I got caught.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, all right, Shab, you got caught. You're humbled. Get back to work.
Right.
But when you get outclassed,
Which she did.
yes, this is not a fluke. People want to say it's Tyson, Buster Douglas. It's not. It's Tyson Holyfield. She got outclassed. That's a different animal. Then you got to start, because you get caught. It's like, all right, let's go back to work. Don't make that same mistake. Keep your hands up. Same coaching. Everything's good. I'm surrounded by yes men, but we'll get this done, whatever. But when you get outclassed, like.
Does this settle the boxing MMA argument that people have had that a great boxer beats a great MMA fighter? Because that's what this was, right? A great boxer, or not a great boxer, but at least somebody who was way more skilled.
Great boxer.
Great boxer.
She's a multi-time world champion boxer and kickboxer.
So does this answer the question that people have been asking for however many years UFC's been big? Does that answer the question that a great boxer with great footwork and a great puncher beats somebody who needs to get you on the ground?
I don't think so, because if you put Floyd Mayweather in there with Demetrius Johnson, he would eat his ass up like Kobayashi in a hot dog.
Why?
He would fucking it wouldn't even be a fight.
Why? What's the difference between the two fights we're talking about?
The distance, the boxing, the way they stand. If you took our very best, the best we have on this earth at fighting, it was John Jones.
Yeah.
So John Jones is more skilled than any girl. You could combine all the girls and they don't equal John Jones' left toe probably.
Okay.
That's how talented the dude is. And now he's jacked. I don't know if you saw the new post. He's jacked. He got suspended for a while, but he's been doing prison workouts. He's jacked.
Yeah.
So if you took
push-ups in the yard, dude.
If you took John Jones and had him fight even Klitschko, heavyweight boxing, and Klitschko's huge, and it was a fight.
Yeah.
John dismantles him.
Now,
it's just different, man.
Okay, because
you got to realize that distance is going to close. What's a boxer going to do? What are you going to do? Rabbit punch me?
But how come then Ronda couldn't close? So that's what I'm asking. Like
Holly Holm's an MMA fighter. She was a phenomenal boxer, Muay Thai practitioner who parlayed into fighting, and she's been fighting now for a while.
Do you think we'll see more professional boxers after Holly did it try to squeeze over to MMA?
Maybe it's if it was, and you know, it sounds a little sexist, but if it was a famous boxer, like say Triple G or Canelo got done fighting 2 years and then went to MMA and had success, then we're gonna see more of it. In women's fighting, there's not a ton of women in general boxing.
Yeah.
Name the top women boxer. There you go. Nope, I can't think of them either. There you go.
I think it was that woman who was dating Greg Hardy. Okay. That's a bad joke, everybody. I didn't say that. Okay, so we got.
It's hard to come back from
bad
that.
joke, everybody.
My brain just goes through domestic violence, girls.
No, bad joke. Heart, confidence.
1 and 2.
Okay, so you got intelligence in the ring, talent which is speed,
That-
strength.
so I'd go
coaching, repetition,
So
work,
that's
time in the
last.
gym.
That's last.
Really?
That's dead last. Yes.
Time in
Because
the gym is
it goes
last?
heart, confidence, talent. Now you have those three things. Now you got something. Now you can walk in any gym in the world. Like, oh man,
What's more important, speed or strength?
Speed. Speed. I mean, speed. The NFL's all speed. Every speed kills.
Yeah.
That's in true. You look at the best heavyweight UFC fighters, light heavyweight, anything. Speed kills. Holly was faster than Ronda, not even close.
Yeah.
Faster. Demetrius Johnson, faster than everyone. Adrian Peterson, faster than everyone. Tom Brady, release, faster than everyone.
Yep.
The bat speed.
That's me in the
of all these
bedroom
guys-
too.
There you
Faster
go.
than everybody.
Faster than everyone. Speed,
I'm
man.
not sure it translates.
That might be the only time it doesn't work.
By the way,
I'll power your speed.
before
I don't last long either, though.
Before I get a zillion terrible things on the internet, there was a joke about the Greg Hardy's.
Oh, you're
girl.
good. Oh no, our crowd's good.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's a joke,
hey,
everybody.
Oh, bro.
Okay.
I've done some bad. Bro, I'll one up you on that one. We there's a guy I fought named LeVar Johnson, and he tested positive for steroids after we fought him. He could have probably placed 4th or 5th in Olympia. He was fucking jacked.
Right.
Anyways, one of the hardest hitters to ever grace the octagon. I just kept taking him down, boring fight, whatever, beat the dude. And like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he got charged with domestic violence. He got arrested. And in the report, this is the way my crazy mind works, in the report, they go, his girlfriend or wife took 12 punches. I look at the glass half full. I was like, shit, we need to sign this girl up for the UFC
Yeah.
because I can't take 12 punches.
12?
I don't know if they exaggerated. Maybe it's rabbit punches, but I know you eat one of them. I mean, he knocked out some tough dudes, man.
I'll tell you. Now, listen, I remember the last punch I took. And this is some of the questions why I was asking. Because I remember, I think I've told you this, but my fight record is probably 4-8.
Tough record, my man. Tough record. You know what? I'd have to look at the body of work. I'd have to look at because a guy like Mark Hunt doesn't have a great record, but he's
No.
fought some fucking monsters.
You know what I was like? I was like, you know that wrestler that would fight Hulk Hogan before the big fight, like Coco Beware?
You're that guy. You're the journey.
I wasn't Coco Beware. I came with a parrot on my
You
shoulder.
had an act, but not very good. Everyone knew he was going to lose, but we still watched it.
Yeah, no, I was not a great fighter. But there's my other question for you, man. Okay, and you seem like and I have a podcast called Fairly Normal, right? And
I was listening to it on the way over here.
I interviewed your boy Tony Jeffries.
So Tony Jeffries, you guys heard me talk about him. He's a mutual friend of Josh and mine. He was my head trainer, Olympic boxer,
Amazing.
owns Box and Burn Gym in Santa Monica and Brentwood. He's an amazing dude.
I interviewed him, and so here's what I'm getting to as far as more with fighters, right? So Tony told me he had been punched 55,000 times.
That's a lot.
Now listen, on my 4-8 record, I'm not sure I'm at 55,000. But
Depends how bad you get your ass beat.
did I ever tell you I get hit? I was in a fight. I was in a bar, and this dude was way bigger than me, and I was like, I'm gonna have to hit him first.
You're
right?
young, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Was this like last week?
No.
Okay.
My fighting, I can't.
Yeah, you retired.
Yeah, retired at 4-8.
Or just kind of quit. Just kind of quit.
Yeah, just started to know
You
better.
walked away from the game.
Yeah, and listen, by the way, 3-9, I was part of a fight where our team won, but I lost my part of the fight.
You still
but I
lost.
was on the winning team, so I go 4-8. Okay, so I'm knowing my fight record, I'm thinking I am gonna have to hit this dude first. He was in the middle of talking, and I punched him about as hard as I could, and his head turned, but no other part of his body did.
Big dude then.
Big dude, head turned back to me, and he goes, "Son, you're gonna have to do better than that."
I would have fucking...
I was like, "Oh well."
Were you there with boys?
Yeah, I was like, "Well, that's kind of the best I got."
That's it, man. You want to just call it...
Yeah.
You just want to call it even? Can I get you a beer?
You know what? This was such a silly argument.
This is silly.
I don't even know what we're fighting about
This is
anymore.
weird.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So I've taken some punches. I told you I've had 11 concussions.
11, and that's fighting. Anything else?
Fighting, football, car accident. I got hit in the head with a bat by accident. Just some
11's a lot.
Listen, my
You and
memory
me are probably around the same, I bet.
my
And I've done
memory's
some
not
shit.
not great, and I told you I catch myself slurring. I catch myself
On
slurring
stage?
on stage.
You have a speech impediment because of it, I think.
Yeah, me too. So it's scary for me. But I asked Tony, "Are you nervous?" And he was very open about being nervous about the future with his daughter, and his memory's gone. And listen, he told me a story on the podcast about how he called an Uber, stood outside with a friend of his. Uber came up and said, "Is Tony here?" And he thought some dude was starting shit with him, and he was like, "Who's asking?" He was like, "I'm your Uber." He had forgotten he called the fucking Uber.
The fuck do you want? I'm your Uber.
All right.
Okay.
So
where are we going?
Exactly. I forget where we're going, so I hope I told you.
Did I give you an address?
Did you? Is that one of the reasons you got out? Were you scared at all?
It was a number of things. I think that, I was a guy where I realized that it wasn't healthy. I did enjoy it, but I didn't like a lot of the politics in it. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the way Dana White was. So we're all on this ship.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with a lot of things that Dana White was doing. And when Reebok threw a huge logo on this ship, I was like, you know what? And what they were going to pay me. And for my brand, I've been fortunate where I was always a guy who, took it into my own power and marketed myself and was always doing extra interviews and always loved to be in front of the camera. I was a guy who was like, I'm not signing my name and likeness away to you. I'm worth more than that. I'll do myself a disservice if I do that. So there's that kind of added to it. And the name and likeness was a big thing. I'm like, I've worked way too hard to give you guys my name and likeness for this. And then the head trauma, and I know champions. A lot of my good friends are champions, and they were the pinnacle of the sport. I see what they're doing now. So I know what that movie looks like. You know what I'm saying? I know how this movie ends. So even if I were a champion, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't end well, man.
But why are they then knowing that? And everybody knows it. It's not a secret anymore. Why are these dudes still going out and getting punched at 38 years old?
They have no other options.
But
and typically you don't become a fighter or a great athlete because you have a great personality and charisma and money in the bank.
Right.
No, you're not sleeping in silk sheets and being a great fighter. Typically not.
Would you say most fighters do not come from a wealthy background?
Yes, especially in boxing. That's the boxing culture. And then MMA, you look at the background. So you have a son, right, in college. Let's say your son was a 5-star recruit. Let's say he's at LSU.
Yeah.
So he's at LSU. He's a 5-star. He's the running back at LSU. What's Fournette.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So let's say you have a white Fournette, and that's your son.
Oh, that's what we'd call him too.
Yes,
White Fournette.
White Fournette.
Oh my God, White Fournette actually sounds like a great name for somebody, like a
Dude,
Superman, like
White Fournette?
White Fournette.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
White Fournette sounds like like he's great. Whatever White Fournette does, he's great at it. Don't you think?
You can keep that, Fournette. So let's say that's your son, right?
Yeah.
And he's younger, and he goes, "Dad, I'm thinking about going fighting." You go, "Man, there's just not a ton of money in it,
Yeah.
So with these great athletes, it's tough, man, because there's so much more money in other sports. Because the exceptions are the Ronda Rouseys and the John Jones.
Well, what's the drop off between Ronda Rousey, John Jones, and then the people underneath them?
Oh, it's
50% drop off.
Oh, I
More?
wish it was 50. It was 50. No one have any problems. If it was 50, the UFC would be the greatest sport in the world. If it was 50, the UFC might be bigger than it is.
People on the first card, how much are they making?
$8,000.
And how much are they paying out? Like, so say I have a trainer and people in my corner.
So the stat that I got, and we go over this, we don't exactly. I know the UFC has to release their numbers soon because of tax purposes and other issues. But the number I got was 14% is what they're paying out to the fighters. And of that 14%, I think something like 10% goes to the superstars. So then you get 4% to the rest. So let's say the UFC signed you today, and you have to fight
because the T-shirt looks so good.
Yeah, they're like, what? and your nickname's White Fournette. Your nickname's White Fournette.
And I put a rubber band right here, so it's real vascular.
Yeah, it's sick, like the Warrior. So they sign you. You would get a standard contract, probably 8 and 8. That's if you win, you get $16,000, and then Reebok's gonna pay you $2,000.
But how much out of that 16,000? Say I win. How much goes to my trainer, my camp? Because it costs to train. Who's paying for me to train?
Yeah, you're paying for all that, and then you got to pay your manager.
I'm paying to train.
You're paying
out of
for
that $16,000, I'm paying my manager. I'm paying to train, and I'm paying my camp.
And after taxes, let's say you made 16. Let's say 18 because Reebok hooked you up with their sweet ass deal, and you got some bullshit pumps on. So you get
never, by the way,
right? Who wears those?
Pumas. By the way, those Pumas.
Are you trying to get bullied? Yeah, this is because of you.
Those Pumas,
man. Yeah,
hot.
Ooh, there's the suede.
Yeah.
Love them, after taxes, you pay your manager. After 18, you're probably going home with around $7,000.
But the training came out of your pocket. But and you've been training for 3 months.
Oh yeah.
So it costs more than $7,000 to train for 3 months, doesn't it? So are you losing money?
For the younger guys, it's tough. Well, a lot of them have other jobs.
Oh my God. And all to get punched. That's the whole thing. Like,
a lot of them don't have options, though, John. You know what I'm saying?
But when you get punched in the face the first time, and Tony actually told me that the nerves, and he thinks the nerves in his face kind of died a little bit because he doesn't really feel it.
Yeah, everyone's does. So like a real good kicker, Muay Thai kicker, the nerves in their shin are done. That's why they can kick so hard and no repercussions. That's why you see guys like in the movies, you see them kicking trees.
Yeah.
They can do it because the legs are dead.
So same thing happens to your face?
I assume it destroys nerve endings, yeah.
Hardest punch you've ever got in the face? And you felt it though, right?
I felt it. I mean, the hardest punch I ever got knocked in the face, it probably knocked me out. But the hardest one that I ate, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Probably Roy Nelson hit me with the right hand. I was like, my face was so warm. I was like, oh. For sure got a slur now.
But I remember, let me tell you something, by the way. That dude who punched me in the face after he said, son, you got to do better than that. I tried to fall, but he wouldn't let me. He kept picking me up, and I was like, I'm ready to go, dude. I'm ready. I see the legs. They're not working so well anymore. You can put me down. But he would say one quick line before he punched me in the face again, and then I would try to fall again.
That's an old school ass beating.
And my friends were like, I go, like the next day, I'm like, nobody wanted to hop in. They were like, not really.
Not really. I kept whooping your ass so bad, comic book style.
They were like, this is not, we saw what was happening, and you punched him once, and
The thing about Tony, though, is, and this is rough in boxing, like, Triple G had 300 fights amateur before he turned pro. You know, he's 34, 35 now. He had 300 fights before he turned pro. So there's a ton of amateur work in boxing before they even go pro. So Tony, he was on the national England team, right? UK. He did all the European champion, all that. You're not making any money off that. They pay for your food and your housing, but you're not making money.
If you had a boy come into this world, would you let him?
I have one too.
Would you let him fight?
No, not a chance.
Football?
Yes. I'd let him play football, and people would say, oh, well, concussion is bad in football. I get that, but
how come you wouldn't let him fight? Because he has options? You're gonna be able to provide him with options that a lot of kids.
He's gonna grow up in Marina Del Rey. Not too many kids are tough out of Marina Del Rey.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So I mean, if he's
gonna know how to smoke weed, though.
There you go. Again, if he's an athletic kid, I'm not putting him in fighting. It's not a pretty world, man.
Yeah.
It's not a life you want to live. It's given me a great platform, but I would not wish that upon my kid. No way, man. If he's anything like me, it's terrifying. So if he's really athletic, dude, I'm putting him in football, soccer, the major sports, where he's going to be able to reap these insane benefits. Because in the NFL, if I spent as many years as I did in the NFL as I did in the UFC, I get, there's a retirement plan. There's 401k, there's benefits, there's payments every month, there's stuff like that.
How, if you were Dana White, how would you change the way the UFC is? You would dole out a little more money to the fighters?
See, people think I'm like,
do you have an insurance? Is there insurance?
No. Well, there's insurance. There is insurance if you're in camp. So they'll take care of you if you're training for a fight.
Got it.
Yeah. So people think I'm like anti-Dana White, all this stuff. I actually like Dana White. I like what he's done for the sport. There's certain things I don't agree on, but that doesn't mean I don't like the guy.
Right.
I actually like the guy. He's done a ton for me.
He, by the way, an amazing marketer. He's good.
Yeah, for sure. Good promoter.
Good promoter.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't know what Dana White's, his checklist is. So I can sit here and criticize what he does, but I don't know what he's physically doing. So maybe he's doing the best job he can. And even he's like, God, this Reebok deal sucks, man. I didn't think it was going to go like this.
Okay, so let me ask you.
I'm sure he is.
Let me readdress the question.
What can you do?
As a fighter, was there one thing where you're like, man, that every fighter is like, man, I wish this. Do you know what I mean? Is there one thing, is there one sticking point for all of you?
The payment, 100%. There's only maybe 10 fighters who are like, no, I'm good. I have enough. I'm good. They're hooking me up. That's being generous. There's probably 5 who are like, no, I'm good.
And the rest
are like, fuck, man.
Are some people making more money off of the marketing than they are off of the actual fighting?
Not now because, just Ronda probably. Just Ronda because she's doing movies, right? And other extracurricular activities, which could be a big reason why she lost too. Because Holly's not doing that stuff.
Right.
But with the way the Reebok deal is now, no one's making insane money anymore off marketing and stuff like that.
It's crazy.
Because UFC's telling your story, and they're also putting a ceiling on your story, unless you're one of these, freaks, the 1%ers. It's interesting, right? That's, a lot of that's pro sports, though.
I think I may have one more. I was sitting in my house thinking about these because there aren't too many times that I get to ask.
No, this is fun, man.
Okay. And let me think okay, I think you answered that. You answered that. You answered, dude, I think that's it. That's it.
That's it, huh?
That's all I had.
I mean, as far as concussions go, I think, if you compare the UFC to the NFL, we're in leather helmets right now. We don't know exactly the consequences of the brain trauma. So I know some guys, and I'm sure fans do too, where you meet your favorite fighter who fought a number of years ago, even kind of recently, and you're like, dude, he for sure has brain trauma. So once those studies comes out, I think it's gonna be trouble.
But boxers more than MMA guys. It seems like they get punched in the face more.
Well, it's also boxing's older, so now we're seeing it now. Like we see Muhammad Ali.
Dude, Tommy Hearns.
Tommy Hearns.
Tough to listen to Tommy Hearns.
It's exhausting.
My!
You're trying to finish.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I just feel like telling him, dude, write it down and hold it up to the camera.
For real.
Let me read it.
Bro,
this is
we had a Vander Holyfield in here, and he called in. This is why we don't do call-ins anymore. Yeah. And I was like, I saw him at an event. I've been to 2 events with him, and we talked, and it was all right. But when he called in, I was like, "Excuse me, sir, are you snorkeling in a wind tunnel right now? Like, what's going? Do you have? Are you storing nuts in your mouth?
Yeah.
What's going on?" I finally was like, "Fuck it, we're good, we're good." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'll call you later."
Nothing.
You know?
He's got, but you listen to interviews. It's painful and depressing.
It's depressing.
As a comedian, I'm trying not to laugh. I mean, if we're being honest, as a comedian,
I feel like it's okay to laugh.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing: I think you could laugh in his face, and then 10 minutes later, just reintroduce yourself. And
I agree.
And he'd be like, "Oh hey," I'm like, "Hey, who was that asshole who was laughing at you earlier?" I don't know.
He laughed, man. Let's go find him and whoop his ass.
That's good.
Dude, but you know what's weird is because we had Sugar Shane Mosley in there, who's a great guy. We've had Sugar Shane. We have Vander Holyfield. Tony Jeffries.
Yeah.
They all have one thing in common. All of them think they're just fine.
Oh my God.
And that's how I know they're fucked up. All of them are like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Are you?"
Yeah, you're not wearing shoes,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that before you left the house.
No pants on.
Yeah.
Sugar Shane came in here, no shirt, hand wraps.
Come on.
No shirt, hand wraps. And I go,
"Did you think we were?"
I'm like, "Bro, you don't have a shirt on." He's like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Are you worried about concussion?" Like, "Nah, not at all.
Not anymore."
You're the first guy to do a podcast in your underwear, right?" And he's my boy, but I hate to throw him. But even our listeners are like, "Holy fuck, Sugar Shane is so punchy. How could you let him on the show?"
Is De La Hoya punchy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He got hit a lot later in his career.
He's a smart guy too, but he's punchy, and
But that's why we were talking earlier. I know people give Mayweather a hard time, but after my illustrious boxing career where I get pummeled in the face repeatedly, I think not getting hit is way better than getting hit.
That's the goal of the sport.
The goal of the sport isn't to
That's
to
what
hit
people don't understand.
and not get hit. So it's like if your football team scored 100 points but didn't give up any points, you'd be like, "Yeah,
hell yeah,
great game,
yes,
good defense, good offense."
Yes,
that's the same in every sport.
100%.
You don't want to get punched in the face.
Well, if a pitcher actually throws a no-hitter, throws a shutout, it's boring as fuck. It's super boring to watch. Nothing happens, but you're like, "Come on, don't get a hit." You're cheering for this boringness.
Wait, if someone throws a no-hitter, there's a massive celebration at the end of the game.
Oh, people are dancing.
Yeah.
There's freaking signs up. ESPN has a breaking news.
It's amazing.
But fighting,
you don't get hit, and you're a pussy.
Because you know why? Fighting has turned into almost we're on this weird kind of dynamic of WWE entertainment. Like, is it going to be UFE, Ultimate Fighting Entertainment?
Right.
Like they're getting super close to that. They signed CM Punk, the guy from WWE, who I great dude. God bless him. Hopefully he has a great career. But you see certain moves like that because people want entertainment. Because the average fan isn't going to appreciate a great jiu-jitsu clinic or a wrestling clinic on the ground. They want to see one guy stand in front and just swing away, and the other guy swing away.
Okay, let me ask you.
Which is a bummer because Floyd Mayweather,
he's an
brilliant.
artist. He
brilliant.
Listen. I every time I hear people critique his fighting style, I'm like, Guys, so you're telling me you would walk into the ring and want to get punched in the face? Dude is pummeling people repeatedly.
But people say, well, that's what we pay for. That's why I paid $100 for this pay-per-view. I want to see someone's head get ripped off. Well,
Look, I think it's boring too. But to criticize him for not getting hit is like ridiculous to me.
I know, but it's entertainment, you know?
It's also entertaining to see dudes swing at air. Look, Pacquiao said he hurt his shoulder before. He hurt his shoulder swinging at air.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you swing at air as hard as you can. Shit happens.
It's the culture we live in, right? Like people want instant relief. They want instant, gratitude right away. So in fighting, and also it's, you said Dana White's a great promoter.
Yeah.
True. And he's created this culture where we want knockouts.
Oh, yeah.
Ronda White's the next Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Or Ronda Rousey's the next Mike Tyson. This guy knocks everyone out. So we want that. If you're not finishing guys in the first round, hey, man, you're not very exciting.
Yeah, but those fights that go 5 rounds and you can see, to me, the 5-round fight where you really see who's got heart, because I'm sure everybody's winded in the 5th round. Yes?
Everyone. Doesn't matter how hard you train.
So what
Third round.
I love watching that and seeing like, all right, who's digging deep? To me, I fucking love
You're
that.
the minority, my man.
Yeah, but it's so interesting.
It's a bummer, though.
But for people to trade punches and to see how they escape, like to me, between boxing and MMA, and you are good at both. They call boxing the sweet science.
Yes.
More science in boxing than there is in MMA? There's so
because
much.
It's been around longer. There's more of a science with the footwork and the head movement and stuff like that. But in MMA, you got to remember if boxing's a sweet science, MMA is the sweet mystery, because there's so many ways to lose. You have to be so good at everything. So you have to dictate your time and figure out what you're going to focus on and your opponent. You know what I'm saying? So boxing, I fight a southpaw. The sweet science is figured out.
Yeah.
We know the sweet science now. There's no mystery. We know how to fight a southpaw. We know if the guy's elusive, if he's a power puncher, if he uses his range, if he's a dirty boxer. Boxing's been around for hundreds of years, 100 years. We've seen all of it. In MMA, we haven't seen it. So I might prepare for one thing. This guy's showing up with something different.
So
it's a sweet mystery.
Do you think the beauty, and I think the beauty of MMA is that it's so new. The people we think are great now, 20 years from now, you'll look back like we do at the beginning of MMA now and go, that seems kind of basic.
Oh, I agree.
I think the sport is going to grow in ways that I don't think anyone's thought of.
I agree. If you look back on like when Jerry West, right, his nickname was The Logo. It's so fucking dope.
Yeah.
He was a white guy named The Logo.
He should have been White Fournette. That's who he should have been.
Yeah, White Fournette. He was a white guy like.
Yeah.
If you look back when Jerry West was playing, you're like, what the fuck? Look at this white dude in these short ass shirts with his ass cheeks out the back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I never looked that closely.
I did. I was all up in it. I was like, this is ridiculous, man. I'm like, hold on. Let's zoom on into this. You got a dick on him. Jerry West got that logo.
Oh man, let me
dick.
tell you, those basketball shorts made it tough to watch because you see, dudes, there was no hiding the dick in those shorts.
Nothing. You can't do it. See, this is how you know basketball changed. Back then when they had short shorts, all white guys. Now it's all black guys. These shorts are down to their fucking ankles.
You can't do the short shorts anymore. You would have to tape it around.
You got to wrap it around like Cal says. You got to harness it down.
Yeah,
But I think if we're going to look at the UFC now, and it's going to look like those Jerry West tapes.
Yeah.
So because guys are coming, the game's changed even now. So I haven't fought in almost a year. If I came back now, the game's already changed. That's how fast the fucking game's going. So if I'm a one-dimensional guy wrestler, you can't compete in the UFC now.
Because one-dimensional jiu-jitsu guys used to win.
Yes, not anymore. Not even close. If you're one-dimensional in anything, boxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, the 4 main ones, if that's your main thing and you're only good at that, you're not even going to have a career anymore.
So Liddell couldn't fight now?
No, not a chance.
Because he was pretty
He
one-dimensional.
did a sprawl brawl, one-dimensional. The wrestling, the striking is so much more technical now.
Yep.
All those guys. Like you said, I haven't fought in a year. I came back now. It's a different game. That's how fast this game's evolving.
Who do you think out of the older guys you were like, he might have the best chance now?
God,
Randy Couture?
Question. I'd say Randy.
Why? Because
his mindset. He was always changing,
Dude, that guy seemed to me to be, just watching him, I'm like, you're going to have to kill that guy.
Dude, when his last fight against Lyoto Machida, I was a huge Randy Couture fan, and I was there doing press for the UFC. I was like it was a fight week, so they brought me in to do interviews and stuff. And I knew one of Randy's coaches, Neil. He was his jiu-jitsu coach, one of the best jiu-jitsu coaches in the world. He's amazing. Mellison, I think, is that his name? Neil Mellison. Yeah, he's amazing. And he goes, "Hey man, it was the night before the fight." He goes, "Hey, we're going to Randy's gym. He has a Randy Couture's in Toronto."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, we're going to the gym. We need you to work with Randy." He goes, "Be down here in 10 minutes." Go, shit.
How old were you?
This is
So one of your idols, all right?
one of my idols. This is probably 4 years ago when St. Pierre fought Jake Shields. So maybe 5 years ago. So I'm like, oh shit, I better get my stuff on. I was planning to go like hang out with my friends, play grab ass. So I go to the gym. I go up to my room, grab my stuff. I come down. I'm so nervous. 3 Hummers pull up. I'm like, oh shit. Then I'm one of the entourage with Randy. We go in there, right? This isn't a joke. We get there. I'm a little nervous. Me and Randy are talking about. We fought a similar opponent in Gabriel Gonzaga, and I go, man, that Gonzaga was tough, man. He's fucking scary, especially when I fought him. Randy goes, yeah, I kind of broke him. He fought him before me. He goes, after I beat him, he's never the same. And I was just like, yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. He goes, I kind of broke his will, and after that, he was kind of easy to beat. And I was like, no, it's my biggest win. But yeah, no, you're right, probably, bro. You're a legend, so you know. So we go into the octagon, the cage, and Randy's just this monster in phenomenal shape. He has all his coaches around. Yeah. Doesn't have a striking coach around. And so I'm like, what do they want me for? To like grapple with? What do they want me to do with this dude? Right. It's the night before the fight. So he was going 5-minute rounds, having a different coach in every minute.
Are you supposed to work out night before the fight?
Certain guys want to keep their pace, you know. So he's going a different coach every minute. So he's grappling, wrestling, striking, grappling, wrestling, and and he did 3 5-minute rounds like that, nonstop, in phenomenal shape. Well, they tossed me mitts. I'm like, what the fuck is this for? Like, oh, you're gonna hold Mitch for Randy. You're a striking coach. We've never worked together. And he's fighting Lyoto Machida, and they go, but you got to sound southpaw. Well, I don't hold mitts. I hit mitts. Yeah. I'm a fighter. I don't hold mitts. So, but I pretend like, fake it till you make it. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. No, cool. No, I put them on, and I'm not even sounding southpaw. And Randy goes, come on, Shop. Fuck, southpaw. I'm like, I know. Okay. And I'm like this, and it worked out, but I was like, I'm usually not nervous. I was so fucking nervous. Well, and he's just going to town. He punched me right in the jaw because we're not used to hitting mitts. Right. And so I'm holding the mitt like a southpaw, and he misses and boom, right in the jaw. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. And then all for nothing.
No tip?
No tip. Hey.
Not a little something for the extra.
He slapped me on the ass and goes, yeah, how about that Gonzaga, right? And then just walks off. I'm like, all right. So the next time I'm like, oh, this can be sick. Hopefully Randy's like, oh, and thanks for the mitt work, Shab, after he wins. What happens? First round, kick to the face. Boom, knocks Randy Couture out. Lyoto Machida, front kick to the face. Knocked his tooth out. I was like, well, for sure didn't help him. My mitt work for sure didn't help him.
No. Yeah. Have you ever gotten a tooth knocked out? I got one out.
Never. Really? Which one? You got a fake one in?
Yeah, one of my front teeth.
Oh.
Okay. But it wasn't in a fight. I was in high school, and it was in the Northeast, and it was snowing outside, but there was this little dude. I was kind of fast. But there was this little guy who was like, I bet you I'm faster than you. I'm like, you're not faster than me. He's like, I bet you I'm faster than you. No, you're not faster than me. So I go, okay, we're going to run to the end of the gym. I said, you run through the right door, I'll run through the left door. Ooh. And he said, okay. So it was about a 50-yarder. And I was running with him up to 30 yards and then just started to sprint. Right? Just got a little cocky, and I said, see ya. And I started to run. And so I'm accelerating through the finish line because I want to just smoke him. Well, he ran through his door. My door was locked.
Ooh. So gym, one of those push doors, right? Yeah.
So gym door. So I'm running full speed with my hands just this far away.
So funny.
Because I think, oh, wait, it was really funny. Because I think it's just going to open up. They told me that this is one of the concussions, that I bounced off the door. Bounced off the door. That, for whatever reason, it did not break my nose. Thank God, right?
You don't want to be
No, right?
Not young.
This is how Papa makes his money. You know what I mean?
This is Papa's honey bear.
Look, when I got tased by the cops, did I tell you about I got tased by cops?
No. Finish this one and tell us you got tased.
So I bounce off the door. My tooth shatters. Like, it's not like they can put it back. It's shattered, right? So my friends are standing over me and doing what they should be doing.
Laughing.
Yeah.
For sure. You're looking at that photo. Look at this asshole. Look at him. Look at him.
You know they were laughing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
My friends said that they were laughing and they came over and that I was just out of it, and that I said, "Did I win?" And then they said that I started going like this, looking around on the ground. Help me find my tooth. Help me find my tooth. Help me find my tooth. Right? Well, what they didn't want to tell me is that two parts of my teeth were on my cheek here. Like, I was dripping blood.
Dude.
Oh, it was amazing, right? But the dude who I beat, he came to the hospital and he was like, "This was so funny." And I go, I won. And he goes, "Really?
Yeah, Did you win?
He was
You're missing a tooth.
You're in
and
the hospital
next week.
Yeah, he was like, "I knocked you out in a race."
Yeah, so I feel like I won this one.
Yeah. But I got tased in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Why'd you get tased? First of all,
okay,
you were a wildcat when you were young, huh?
This part wasn't my fault. Did you a couple years ago, there were in the news, Josh Brolin got tased in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Why?
Same police force.
He's my favorite actor, by the way.
Okay. There is in Shreveport, and there was anyways, downtown Shreveport, there's a part of the police force that wears orange shirts. That's where they but they're their own little downtown Shreveport.
Okay.
This is probably 8 years ago. Well, it was at a Funny Bone, I think. They told me, "Hey, it's a kind of a tradition for us to tase the headlining comedian." Of course, if anybody's listening to this, they'll deny it, but it happened. So, and I was like, "Ha ha ha," right? Because they're kidding. They're police officers. There's no way they're going to tase me. Okay. So Friday they go, "Are you ready to get tased tomorrow after the Late Show?" I'm like, "Ha ha ha ha, very funny." Saturday Late Show, I'm walking out. I'm collect my money, and the doors are locked, and they're like, "We're ready." I'm like, "I thought you guys were kidding," and they were like, "No, we're not kidding. We tased the headline comics."
How many is there? How many guys?
2. There could have been 1. It doesn't matter. I mean, and I go, "Not really," and they go, "Yeah. Do you want to do the shoot one, or do you want us to do the zzzt on the leg?" And I said, "Am I going to fall?" And they go, "Oh yeah." And I said, "Well, this is where Papa makes his money. So
yeah, don't hit the
you're going to have to hold me up." But they tased me 1 on each leg with a wand.
They double teamed you.
They double tased me, and it's a fucking terrible feeling. You know that feeling if you get shocked a little bit? That whole
yeah.
Where if you jump into water that's too cold?
Oh yeah.
And your entire body stops for a second, you're like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
It was like that, but fucking times a million. It was terrible, man. Terrible. Like, my heart, I was like, they thought it was super funny. Super funny.
These guys are psycho. These guys are sociopaths. Hey, I got an idea. How about you fight crime?
Yeah.
And stop being like, "Hey, we got a new comic. Hey, Jim, we got one. We got a live one. He's in."
It was, I thought they were kidding. But I've seen people do crazy shit. There's a guy in Myrtle Beach on the radio, because I dared him, tased his own nutsack.
Dude,
he was the dude.
No kids.
He was the host of the show. It might be
freezing those. You're burning those things off.
It might be on YouTube.
I'm sure
it was on YouTube before, because I know we filmed it.
You know, Callan, because we're doing these video series now for Fox Sports.
How's that going?
It's good. We start shooting first week of December.
You psyched?
Yeah, I can't wait. But we have such funny episodes. But Callan goes, "Oh, on one we should get tased as like a bumper to the next episode." I'm like, "I'm not doing that, man.
No, it feels terrible.
I'm gonna be the guy who fucking has the heart attack, who dies from getting tased the one time. I'll be that. All the shit I've been through, I'll be that one guy." But like, have you ever seen? I was watching a thing this morning actually. I go to I read Yahoo News. I go to GQ. I do all that Times, all that stuff, and then I go to World Star Hip Hop. I end my day.
Why wouldn't you?
I love World Star.
Yeah. Have you
seen the girl? Do you see the girl today? She's never tried Molly before. She's like 26, 24. Tried Molly. Full on Joker now. Fucked. Did Molly at a party. One time. Never done it before. Did it one time. She was in a coma for like 6 days. Came out and she's like, for whatever reason, I don't know who did this. Her hairline moved back.
No.
Her hair's purple.
No.
And she's in a wheelchair and can barely communicate.
Stop it.
She's fucked. Super
From
fun.
Molly?
From one hit of Molly.
She took the wrong kind.
That's what
I mean, she took the wrong. I've done it once or 2,000 times.
I've done it, once or 50 times with ladies. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, and then they go to some doctors like, that's why kids can't do Molly. It's like, man, well, you could say that about peanut butter. Yeah, Molly's not healthy for you. It's a good time, but there's people who die. There's more people I bet die from allergies to food than drugs.
Do you know the peanut butter allergy? When my kid was in kindergarten, one of the boys in the kindergarten class stole a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of his lunchbox.
That's fighting.
Okay.
I would fight you.
But
over
wait,
that.
so the kid was allergic to peanut butter. So
that's what he gets.
Yeah. So the parents called the school and were like, we're just outraged that my son had an allergic reaction, and they made everybody ban peanut butter instead of the kid who stole the fucking sandwich.
This is some white shit.
Right.
It was all white school?
Yes.
Of course.
In Studio City.
That's some
Instead of
white
the
shit,
kid
man.
who stole the fucking sandwich.
He's a thief.
He's a thief. You steal shit and you get an allergic. That's what you get.
Bro, you steal Big Brown sack lunch when I was a kid, me and Jay Schaub would beat the shit out of you.
Listen, I'm not sure too many people are stealing your lunch.
Well, you'd be surprised. Young, mainly an all-black school.
Do you ever, because I read an interview with Charles Barkley once who said one of the reasons he has to stop going out is because everybody thinks they can beat up Charles Barkley. Do you know what I mean?
It's the vibe he gives off. Have you met Charles?
I have. I'm asking you.
I like Charles.
Do people, is that with you too, where people?
Never. Not once. Not freaking once. It's the vibe you get off. Like, I'm a playful guy.
Yeah.
I go out of my way to make sure I don't give off that vibe. I dress like a jackass, right? I'm super into fashion.
Yep.
I have a part in my hair. No one's going to fight me. Like, I'm there to drink good wine and eat food. If I'm with friends, I'm just into my friends.
You a wine guy?
Yeah.
I don't.
Because of Callan.
To me, it tastes like Tinkerbell's piss.
Dude, no, you got to hang it. Me too.
I mean, it's like, it is like fairy piss.
I was that way. Fairy piss sounds nice. I was that way too, but.
By the way, Google it. It's a great video.
Really?
No.
Like shit, I'm sure you can. You get some weird shit, bro.
I bet you if you Googled fairy piss, you'd get some good shit.
Because Callan's he's a wino, so we're in Arizona and this wine's coming and he's just dropping all this stuff. When we signed our new deal with Fox, I go, bro, we got to celebrate. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, cool, I'll meet you at Scopa. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. And then we get there. I'm like, it's a typical night.
Yeah.
And he's like, here it is. And then gets out a bottle of wine. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
No.
He's all, the celebration. I'm like, okay, not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But all right. It was delicious wine. If you go with someone who knows the in and outs of wine.
Wine gives me a headache as soon as I drink it. I'm like,
We can't get buzzed off of it.
I like tequila. That's what I like. I like tequila. I drink tequila on the rocks, 2 limes, all night. It's like water.
How often?
As often as somebody puts it in front of my face. If you had it here, that's what we'd be drinking.
I'm not mad at that.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to do your podcast. I'm going to bring tequila.
Do it, dude. I'll have it with me.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the deal. One of the reasons, like when people say, do you want to have a drink with dinner? My next question to you is, are we getting fucked up? No, then I don't know why I'm having a drink. I'd rather have one water than one wine.
You trying to get wild or
yeah,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, are we going home tonight? We are? Then I don't need a drink. I don't know what one drink does for you.
I agree.
If you're cracking the bottle, we're finishing it.
I agree. So if we're going to go out.
That's it.
Yes. Like Cal and I were talking to say, we got done doing our live show in Arizona and these people want to take us out. So we had this crowded bar, all this stuff. And it's like, if I'm not chasing girls, we're not getting wild as fuck. I don't want to be here, man.
Going home.
I'm not. Yeah, I'd rather be at home in my underwear eating a Snickers than
yes.
this one beer.
Hell
than
yes.
This one beer.
Yes.
And
it makes
it's
no
all
sense.
dudes. Yes.
Makes zero sense why I'm gonna go out and have one drink.
I'm trying to get loose.
Yes.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna smoke some weed. It's gonna be way more fun than what I'm doing here with you, dude.
100%. I'm with you, brother.
I don't get it, but here's the thing. I like the. It's the same thing when I used to take Molly a bunch. Like, I'm not a one Molly guy either. Like, if we're gonna do this, there's no parachute. Like,
dude, I feel like you don't get successful in life by just doing one.
No.
Like to me,
because then you're a quitter.
Then you're a quitter. If one's good, 20's good.
So much better.
20 is gonna be way better. I'm that guy too. That's why I have to be careful with certain things.
Me too. But I know that about me. So I know, like, when somebody, if you send a shot on stage to me during the first show, I can't drink it. I just can't drink it because I know by the time second show comes, I'm gonna be fucking wrecked.
Yep.
Now, if you send me a shot second show, I'm gonna wait until I'm half an hour left in my set, because once I drink that first one, I'm going to keep ordering them.
Yes.
You don't have to order them for me anymore.
Yeah, I'm good.
As soon as it touches my lips, you don't need to order
Bro,
anymore.
now people know this. You're going to have shots everywhere. Have you said this before? You're gonna have
People
shots
know.
everywhere.
People know because I've just started playing guitar on stage.
I saw that.
But I've only had a guitar for 9 weeks. But I don't do things well. I don't dip my toe very well. So
You're all in.
All in. And for me, the only way to learn how to play in front of people is to play in front of people, whether I'm good or not. That doesn't fucking bother me at all. So, but yeah, it's the same thing. I'm very careful about when I drink because I'm not good at, and also, I don't know about you, but since I drink tequila, and tequila's not a downer, I'm very happy,
Me too,
loud.
Man. Me too.
Let's go have some fun. And let's
do some weird shit.
Weird shit.
Especially I have money in my pocket now. It's gonna get fucking weird, man.
Yeah, because you know what I like to do?
Sky's the limit.
You know, and you might want to start doing this with money in your pocket. Money in your pocket, you can get other people to do the weird shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're like a bad guy from
like,
a movie.
Look, I don't want to do this, but $100 says you don't.
You're like El Chapo. You're like El Chapo.
Yeah.
I'm not getting my hands dirty anymore, my man.
It's so
I have
good.
people do it for me.
Do you know what's fun to do? If you have buddies, you have buddies who are a little weird and crazy.
Yeah.
Pay them $100.
Callan's my best friend.
Oh, okay, there you go. So when you're
weirdest guy
at
ever.
a bar or you're at a dinner's better because bar is a little easier to excuse. Just have them go join another table. It's hilarious.
Really?
Have them sit down like they're late. Sorry, I'm late, and just start talking to the people like they know 'em. It confuses the fuck. I mean, it is so.
Oh God, I'm sorry I'm late. Listen, you guys order already?
What did you get? Oh, that looks great. What are you getting? Great. I'll have one of theirs. Yeah.
Just like that.
Can we get a round?
That's
Let's get a round of.
That's funny.
Dude, it is. And just pay one of your goofy buddies $100 to do it. It confuses the fuck out of people.
Bro. You know.
Do you have a friend you're thinking of that would do it?
Yes. Bro,
yeah, it's good.
I have a friend who I was like, God, man, you know, now I'm in entertainment. You know, I'm still super strict. I worked out every day. I have this show. I have other shows. So I don't go out a ton. And then like a couple weeks ago, I was like, God, I don't know why I don't go out. I'm going to call my one crazy friend who I stopped going out with because he's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to meet up with him. We're going to go get a drink. And we go there and we're talking, and he's talking to a girl, and we're just catching up. I never go out for girls, right? I'm there to talk to my friend, get to know him, it's whatever. So catch up with him. So we're going, he's talking to this girl, he's balls deep in this girl, just talking to her, right? I'm like, all right, man, I guess I'll just kind of take off. So he leaves. 10 minutes later, he comes back, and I'm like, where the fuck did you go? And this is why I don't hang out with these guys anymore. He's like, oh, that chick. This seriously goes, I just fucked her in the ass in the alley. Swear to God, true story. And I was like, you what? He goes, yeah, man, it was crazy. He goes, it was crazy, man. I just fucked her in the ass in the alley. I went, just now. He goes, yeah, let's get out of here. I go, okay. True story. What?
Yeah, because she was a virgin, dude. She didn't want to have sex, so just in the ass.
Dude goes, I don't know,
That's
man.
a new thing, you know.
Yeah, he goes, I had a couple of drinks before we met up. I'm like, why would you drink before we meet up? Why don't we do it together? He goes, I just feel like drinking. Took an Uber over here, met that chick, man. Then, just in the alley, fucked in the ass. Like, okay, I'm going to get going now. I guess I'm not in this life.
Let me ask you a question. If a girl fucks you in the ass in the alley, and you just met her, I'm assuming she's been fucked in the ass in the alley before.
That's not her first time.
Yeah, she actually knew where the alley was. She was like, actually, let's go down here.
You know what? Let's just swing a right back
This
here.
is my spot. Just there should be 2 garbage cans go in between.
Is there a recycle bin over there? Yeah, I'll go right behind there.
Yeah, I actually have an extra change of clothes behind those. Don't worry about that. No, not the blue jeans. Get the black jeans.
Yeah, no, there should be lube behind the rat. Yeah, no, just move the rat. There's lube behind the rat. Yeah, go ahead and grab that.
You know those rat traps, those big ones they put in the alley? She's like, open that up. No, it's not a real rat trap. I just keep things there because nobody looks at it.
That's a decoy.
She has makeup and shit in there.
It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. Yeah. No, that's a decoy. That's a prop. Yeah.
You know Joey Diaz?
Yo, yeah. Love that guy.
Okay. So a while ago, Joey and I have been friends forever. Joey used to babysit my kids. He was my babysitter.
We had so many questions.
Okay.
People want stories from that.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
So Joey Diaz, we are on the road in Oregon. And after the gig, I go to the bathroom, and it's me, him, a dude named Lenny Schmidt, and this, we're going to say woman.
How long ago is this?
Shit. 90s.
Okay.
90,
Shit.
90.
You've known Joey forever.
Joey and I moved down from Seattle together. When I met Joey, he was 250 215 pounds, 220 pounds.
Another lifetime.
Wore a 3-piece suit on stage.
Jesus.
Okay, I've known Joey for a long time.
Awesome.
Joey lived in my house. I gave Joey his first job in Seattle.
Great guy.
Great.
Phenomenal.
So we are at the table. I get up to go to the bathroom. I come back and Lenny and Joey are gone. And this woman, when I say woman, she looked like Joey with a wig. Okay?
A handsome woman.
Yeah, very handsome. Her face had some wear and tear.
Yes.
It was, yeah. So I go, where's Joey? And she goes, oh, he sold you for a bag of weed. And I said, what?
He sold you.
He sold you from, now this is the days of pagers, right? So there's no calling Joe. And I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, he said, this is how she said it, your fat friend. That's what she called him. She kept calling him your fat friend.
Your fat friend.
Your fat friend. You ready? Your fat friend.
And he's 215 at the time.
Maybe at the time he was probably up to 240.
Okay.
He was still a little, I mean, he's a little heavier still.
Yeah, for sure.
So she goes, your fat friend said, where can I find some weed? And she said, I have weed on me. You don't have to pay me if you just leave your buddy who's in the bathroom. And he said, deal. So he took my car keys. He took my car keys off the table. He took my car and drove back to my hotel room.
Great friend.
Okay. So I get in her car because I don't know where the fuck I am. And I'm like, well, you just take me back to the hotel.
Yeah, we'll figure out when we get there. And then
just take me back to the hotel. Take me back to the hotel. And she goes, okay. And actually, I don't know where. I'm in a town in Oregon I've never been in. I think we're going to the hotel. And we pull into a driveway. And I'm like, what's this? She goes, this is my house. This is where you're staying tonight. And I was like, oh, no. But I'm like, I got no phone. I don't know how to get there. I got to go inside and use the phone. So I go inside to grab her phone. She disappears into her bedroom. She keeps coming out every 3 minutes in different lingerie posing for me. What do you think about this? I mean, this is like, picture Joey in like fishnets and a garter. And she was a big girl. She was a big girl. And so, she was wearing stuff where only half of her vagina was staying in.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Extra sloppy. Extra
where it was
sloppy.
like, can you push all of it together? Or is that an Audi? Like, what happened?
It's when you get the burrito at Chipotle and there's too much shit in it. And you're like, bro, it's broke.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Yeah, you know what it looked like? It looked like a wounded stingray from SeaWorld. You know what I mean? Only one of the flaps was working. It was like not great. Yeah.
It looks like the fucking Shamu that's sick.
I was like, you better put that fucking thing back in the salt water. It looks sick. So she keeps coming out.
I like the confidence, though.
Keep coming out. She would lick her finger and run it across my cheek. I mean, she would, as I'm looking through the yellow pages to try to find, I'm calling, this is a small town in Oregon. There's no cat, I can't get a cat.
Nothing.
So I'm starting to panic because it's getting a little rapey. Okay? And she's big. She's bigger than me.
Yeah, you're going to have your hands full. You're about to get the 12th concussion.
Dude, her roommate comes in with her boyfriend, who I've never met either one of those people before. Before the dude walks into the door, I get up. I put my hand gently on his chest. And I go, hey, I don't know you. You don't know me. You got to get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, help me.
And he goes, what? And I told him the story. And then right when I told him the story, Big Mama comes out with her pussy flapping all over the place again. And I go, look, man to man, I need your help. And he looked at his girlfriend and he goes, I got to take my man home.
I need your help. Let's beat this big bitch up.
Yeah, no, you got to take me home. You got to get me the fuck out of here. And she goes, she was yelling at him. That's not your problem. He came home with her. You're here with me. You're staying home.
Oh, hell no.
And
bitch.
And he
trying
said,
to kidnap you.
But he said to her, listen, babe, I love you, and did the whole thing. We're going to be together forever. As a man, I got to help this guy out.
I like this guy.
Oh, me too, dude. We didn't say one word on the way home.
Just
one word, not one word. We got into the parking lot. I looked at him. He looked at me. I held my hand out, shook his hand. I said, I owe you. He said, don't worry about it.
Dude,
I got out.
Lifesaver.
Got out, knocked on my hotel room where Joey was with my fucking hotel key. I knock on the door. I'm only an hour and a half after. He must have got $50 worth of weed. I knock on the door. Who is it? You know who the fuck it is, man. Open the door. Hold on. He comes. He's laughing. I go, roll a joint. He goes, oh, no, that's all gone.
That's gone, cocksucker.
He had smoked the whole fucking thing, but he was like, how funny is that I sold you for weed? I'm like, not that fucking funny, man. Honestly.
That's really funny. See, if I would have been the guy who came in, I'm like, nah, you stay in here, big boy. This could be hilarious.
Oh, dude, felt bad for me. Because when she came out.
She must have been atrocious.
Oh, dude, listen.
She must have been a fat warlock.
When I
if
tell
another
you,
dude's like, nah, we got to get you out of here.
Okay, when I tell you Like, okay, when you're wearing a hat, like I wear a hat and the hair is coming out the side, the middle of her lingerie covered up part of the vagina, but there was just stuff coming out the side.
Just a hot fucking mess.
God. By the way, that's not. That would have been terrible. Have you ever kissed, like, gone and started to kiss a girl's boobs and then been like, and there's one hair on the nipple? That happened to me too. That was terrible. I pulled it back and I thought it was like in my mouth, and I kept going back. It was like a clown, when you pull out the fucking when you pull out the scars. So I go like this. I'm like, pop, 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 pop. And she was like, oh yeah. I keep that there. I'm like, what?
Oh.
Because I tried to pull it. I thought it was mine. She was like, ow. And I was like, what's going on? She was like, I keep that there. She was like, I don't want to pull it. It gives me character. I'm like, your titties shouldn't have.
Character?
Yeah.
Hey, man. If you got to worry about your hairy titties for character.
One long hair. You know how there's just like one long one?
Sucker.
Shit. Because I was like, because it came out further than it should have. It was not great, man.
Bro, why did Joey Diaz sell you for weed?
I mean, Joey Diaz sold me for weed. Sold me for. But you know what?
It's a classic
yeah.
story.
And looking back on it, I might have done the same thing. Because tell me, you like
funny.
fucking with your buddies a little bit.
Yeah, but see, I would have sold you and then just
come back
screwed that girl over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like, jump in the car, let's go. Like, fucking, let's go. I get the weed, let's go.
Yeah, no.
So what she looked like.
Here's the funny thing. He also, that whole ride home in my car, was driving, Lenny told me afterwards, was driving down the wrong street, wrong side of the street, in the wrong lane, honking and waving at people with his head out the window saying, vote for me.
What the
whole fucking
fuck?
Vote for me! Vote for me!
Dude, he is such a fucking character.
Dude.
There's only one Joey Diaz.
Him babysitting my kids, people ask me all the time, like, why you let Joey babysit your kids? Valid question. But I would tell you this, and I've told you before on here, I had no money at the time.
Yeah.
So my babysitter had to be cheap, meaning free. Here's the one thing. I knew that when Joey was there, weird things were going to happen. I did know that. Like, one of my daughter's favorite games that I found this out by accident. Does she play with Joey? Joey bent over once in my apartment. He doesn't wear underwear. She pulled some hair out of his ass crack. And she said, how many? And he goes, oh, it felt like 5 that time. I go, that time?
That's his game.
Holy shit. This is not a good babysitting game, guys.
That's his game.
But I will tell you this, and Joe knows this. I know that he was unconventional, but I also know Joe Diaz, and I know that he would have taken a bullet for any of my kids.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that's kind of always been my parenting thing. Like, look, you can't coddle them, and it's good to be exposed to different shit. You don't want to put them in dangerous situations, but to have somebody with a little extra sauce like Joey come into your kids' lives,
yeah, it's
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and also Joey's such a loyal guy. You know damn well he's not gonna let anything happen.
Ride or die.
Joey's a guy who, we didn't know each other very well at all. I met him through Joe Rogan. We did a fight campaign together, but he was so high he didn't say anything. He was so high he didn't say much the entire show.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many stories about him, but we just hit it off right away. And then I forget, after one of my fights, Joey really doesn't text. He calls.
Yes.
And he called me, and I was like, why is Joey Diaz calling me? And I pick up, and he goes, how are you doing? Are you all right? I'm like, what? No one asked me. No one ever asked me that. Because everyone, I have to be this tough guy. He goes, how are you holding up? Are you okay? And this is after a big loss. And no one's talked to me. And I was like, I'm all right, man, fucking sugarcoat it. Yeah. And we just got into it. And he's just like, man, I'm worried about you. I just want to check on you. You need anything, call me. I'm like, bro, we've talked maybe 3 times.
Doesn't matter.
And since then, he's just been a guy where he'll send me a text or a call. And when he calls, he's one of the very few people I answer the call.
Me too.
He's one of the very few. And Rogan's kind of the same way. Rogan and I would text back and forth, but Rogan will call to make sure I'm good.
Joey Diaz, and this is why, like, I know a lot of people have judged him for his criminal record, for whatever drugs that he does or did, right?
Whatever.
I get it. It was also a different time for him. And if you know the way he grew up and what happened to him when he was growing up, okay.
It paints the story.
But at the end of the day, that guy would take a bullet for you. We conspired to do something criminal once, and it didn't turn out that well. I'm not sure. We stole a safe. Joey, a safe. Joey and I stole a safe.
From a store or from a house?
From a restaurant. Okay, so...
Can you say the restaurant?
I probably shouldn't.
Would I know it?
No, it was in Seattle.
Okay, so it's not a big chain or nothing?
No,
okay.
But we stole a safe.
All right. Terrible idea.
Not a great idea, and it turns out there was $27 in quarters in there, so it really didn't turn out the way we thought it was gonna turn out. Because we were like, oh, this is gonna be like $60,000 in there because the Mariners were playing the Yankees, and it was a Sunday, and the whole thing, a weekend full of baseball crowds, whatever. But he told me, he was like, just so you know, shit goes down, I'm going to jail. And I said, why? I'm part of it. He goes, you have a family. He said, you have a mother, you have a father, you have brothers. You have a family. Yeah. I don't have that. He said, so I'm okay with going to jail, but I could never let you go to jail. It's such
it's rare, man.
It's very rare. Look, and that's the thing. Like, that's why and Joey and I I've known Joey a long time. He and I have had our ups and downs.
Oh, I'm sure every relationship does. Doesn't matter who you are.
But at the end of the day, man, that is about as solid. And I know to say that who he is and listen to him talk, but as far as character guys,
none better I've ever met.
No, and listen, and it depends how you judge it. If you're a newfound progressive 2015 person and you listen to his language and the words he uses, like he doesn't mind using whatever stereotypical word you're not supposed to use.
But he's a guy's guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not trying to walk that PC line.
He is who he is. That's what I'm saying.
We know where he stands, which is so rare, especially in this business.
But here's the deal. Even though he uses the words, he's not using them. I know what's in his heart. The dude does not have a racist or
not at all
homophobic word and bone in his body, but he uses the words. So people sometimes will judge him on that. As a character guy, if I needed something, at any time of the day, there are two people that I would call. I would call my brother Jonathan and Joey Diaz. At any point in time, if I needed something, like, guys, we got to go bury this body, I would, without hesitation, I would call both those guys.
And a lot of people listening, I mean, two's a lot. Two's a lot that you can depend on.
Yeah.
You and Joey met where?
In Seattle, man. In Seattle, I remember I hired him. I was working at a bar. I owned 15% of this bar in Seattle. This Japanese, I was working the bartending. And this Japanese dude who had a ton of dough was like, I'm closing down the bar. It's not working. And I was like, it's not working because you are running a terrible place. And you're in downtown Seattle. It'll work.
It should work.
I said, give me 4 months. I said, if you don't see an uptick in 4 months, close it. If you see an uptick, I get 15%. And dude had so much money. He was like, perfect.
Yeah.
And so
it's nothing.
I ended up with 15%. But Joey came in and I hired him. We did a fetish night. And so he was working the door. And
so he came in for a job for the bar.
I met him at the Comedy Underground. And then I was like, man, come in and I'll get you a job. So I hired him. So at his first night working fetish night, these two old gay guys dressed in dresses and parasols get in an argument. And I go, Joe, you got to throw them out. He's okay. So he goes, come on, guys. Come on. We got to get out of here. And he starts to grab one of them by the arm. And the other one starts to hit him with his umbrella. Don't you? And Joey starts to laugh. Like I've never heard anyone laugh. Dude is hitting him with a parasol. You stop it. And he's like, stop hitting me with that fucking thing, would you? Right? And he walks them both out. I go, why are you laughing? He goes, is that the way people fight in Seattle? With umbrellas?
Yeah. Where he comes from, it's a joke.
Yeah,
shit he's seen, it's a joke.
Howling, laughing. But it's one of the reasons why, look, I saw it very early, man, with him. Very early.
You knew he was special?
Criminal element, without a doubt. There was never any doubt that he had a criminal element. And you know what I call him?
Flavor.
You know what I do call? I've always referred to him as a moral criminal. And I will tell you this for a fact. I know if he was at my house and there was $40 on the table, maybe not now because he doesn't need it now, but back in the day, he would take that $40 off of my table, but then he would take me out to lunch with it.
Yeah.
And then he would tell me next time it's on you. I'm like, okay, this was also on me.
Yeah, I kind of bought both.
Yeah, but
I see what you're doing.
But he was a moral criminal, and he's a lot of times he would steal from criminals.
Yeah, he's like Robin Hood. He's like a big fat Robin Hood.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him that much.
Do you think? So how happy are you to see his success now?
So happy.
I think everyone is. Yeah, but I didn't know him back in the day, but I know people talk about how he's one of the guys that are super happy that he has this thing going.
I will tell you, and I would say the same thing for Callan. As somebody who has also worked hard, and Brian has too. And Brian worked hard to find his place in this business, right? where you could tell he was talented. He'd pop up on shows or in movies all over the place.
Yeah.
But he never got that one thing to pop, right? And then when you get to a certain age, you're like, fuck, this is never going to pop.
Yep.
Right? So you start to get really scared. And look, my show got canceled, right?
Which one?
The Josh Wolf show got canceled.
Did it really? I enjoyed that show.
Here's the deal. He didn't want to say loved. He tried, but then he stopped. But here's the deal. I enjoyed it.
You know what?
It was okay.
You were good on that.
I will tell you, man, I had a couple of really rough, dark weeks. It's interesting to have your dream kind of unceremoniously ripped away from you.
That was your dream, to host that show?
To host a show called the Josh Wolf Show. Look, I'm not fucking Bill Maher and I'm not Jon Stewart. The idea of my TV show, and if you see me live, is we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that
That's it.
show was a good time.
We're gonna have a good time. So, but to have it taken away, man, and then you look at yourself at a certain age, like Brian and Joey, and you're like, you're not starting over. But nobody's going to give you the Josh Wolf show again. So you really, much like, and it's obvious I didn't get beat up like Ronda, but your confidence is shook a little bit.
But in entertainment, it's been shook a couple of times, right? Like
yes,
Ronda's really
that's what saves
Ronda's
you.
never been shook.
That's what saves
You've
you.
been here before. This
Yeah.
is common ground to you.
Yep.
So when you have success, I'm the same way too. Like, I always feel like I'm going to wake up and the Firing Kid's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Like I've never had steady income ever as an athlete. What? I've never had steady income. So I always feel like every morning, that's why my work ethic's so crazy. I feel like there's like, no, we're good, man. We're good on that now.
Right.
It's like, fuck, what am I going to do? Because with Callan, I feel like Callan's issue has always been, Callan's like a Swiss Army knife. If you have a Swiss Army knife, you really don't know what the fuck to do
exactly
with it.
what it is.
You're like, God, I have all this cool shit, but I don't know what to do, man. And Callan, he's so talented in so many things, and he can do all this stuff, along with ADD.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to focus on. So he's a B level over here, C level over here. He might give you an A in this arena.
Yep.
He might give you a D over here. And if he just decided to focus on one thing, you're getting an A+.
I agree.
And that's why I think me and him have met. For whatever reason, they put me and him together, and we have this crazy chemistry and bond because I'm one of the few guys who can get Callan to focus on something. Otherwise, he's going to be all over the place. He's that guy. And he will say yes to everything. If you say, hey, Callan, listen, I know you don't know how to juggle knives, but we need you to fill in for this 9 p.m. show. He's like, cool, I'm going to try juggling knives. Bro, you don't juggle knives.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that to yourself, man. And so for Callan
But you know what that mentality is, right? It's a comics mentality of being paid with chicken fingers.
Yes.
Of, can you do this gig?
Yep.
Fuck yeah, I'll do that gig.
Yep.
And I don't know when you lose it. I guess at some
I don't
level
think
you do.
You do? I don't think you do. Because Rogan financially is fucking set. You know what I'm saying? Rogan's Rogan, his work ethic,
Yep.
that I've never seen anything like it. We've dropped, 4-hour podcasts. He did a thing for Rolling Stone. He went and worked out. Then he did 3 sets at the Comedy Store,
Yep.
and then went home and wrote. And I'm like, bro, you're good, man.
But he loves stand-up.
He loves the hustle of everything.
Yeah,
too.
but I will tell you, like, interesting, him and like Louis C.K. and Billy Burr, all these guys, this generation of comedians, I've never seen a roster so deep.
It's the golden age of comedians.
Oh my fucking God.
That's quoting Rogan. He says it's the golden age.
It is.
It's never been better.
It hasn't. But guys like Rogan and Bill Burr and Louis C.K. who are churning over material so quickly set the bar so high for the rest of us. Like, look, Chris Rock, you could check when his specials come out, but it's like every 3 or 4 years, right?
True.
These guys are coming up with a new hour every 16 to 18 months.
For sure.
What the
The
fuck?
other thing is, too, guys like Louis C.K., Mark Maron, Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, how long have they been hustling for?
Dude. And
a lot of people just found out about him. But Louis C.K., you talk to any comic, they're like, thank God that guy made it. You know how long he's been doing this?
But Bill Burr, too.
All of them, man.
But also, you mentioned Rogan, 3 sets at the Comedy Store. How far away does he live from the Comedy Store?
He lives in Calabasas area.
It's a good drive.
Yeah, it's not close.
Okay. So, and he doesn't have to go to the Comedy Store.
No, he can go anywhere he wants. He goes to the Ice House in Pasadena, even farther, all the time.
Dude, You know what he could do? Just roll out of bed once a month and go on the road. Dude's work ethic, like I said, if you look at those guys, and Bill Burr's doing sets in town, and Louis C.K., if they're on stage at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, I have no fucking excuse not to be too.
But all those guys we've mentioned, there's one common theme. Obviously, super talented, super funny. Their work ethic.
Yeah, they drive.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
The work ethic is insane. When you found out about your show, did your agent call you?
No, I made the network kind of told us all together. It was at a taping on my show. They came to tell us.
Okay, have a good show. This is the last one ever, but
yes.
Good luck.
No, it was in between. We were taping 2 shows that day. They told me in between shows. I will tell you, for me, I took 2 days to smoke weed and just be like, fuck. But I also knew, and this is why when you're talking about you get up your work ethic, because you don't know when it's going to go away, because at the end of the day, and let's be honest, there are a zillion people who are talented in this town. And you go back to the fighting.
Oh, yeah.
It's the work ethic. And there was a comedian that I'd only been doing it for a year, but I was in Dallas this past weekend. And after a year, I'm like, dude, you're really good. Really good. And I go, how often are you on stage? He goes, twice a week. I go, quit. Because as good as you are right now, I said, you're better than everybody else you started with? And he said, yeah. I said, yeah, but they're going to be better than you in 2 years because they're on stage 6 nights a week.
Same thing.
Quit. Yeah.
They had me talk to a group of fighters, and they go, Brendan, tell them how many times they should be hitting mitts and tell them how many times they should be in the gym. I said, I hate to do this. You guys probably I'm going to lose a ton of fans in here. I said, but if it takes me telling you how many times you need to train a week, quit right now. If I have to inspire you to come to the gym, it's too late. Because it's way too late. Guys are already better than you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you go back to that work ethic and the desire. I imagine desire, now that I think about it, is bigger than toughness. Like, in order to get punched in the face and then to man up and go, I'm willing to get punched in the face again, is a desire thing, right?
Desire, not having options. Maybe you're too stupid to realize what's going on. I think there's a number of different things. Desire for sure. Desire to be the best, get punched, get back up. I think that's why, as far as entertainment goes, I've kind of parlayed and had success in this because of the work ethic. Like my agent at CA will be like, dude, quit, get off me, man. Yeah. Like, no. I want you to work as hard as I do.
Yes.
I want you to work like I do. And you know what someone told me? They said, if you expect people to care about your business as much as you do, you're going to be mad 365 days out of the year.
100%. And what I always try to remind people is, first of all, your agent has no power over you. Your agent works for you.
Yes.
So
you're paying him.
So you have the right to say, hey, motherfucker, I'm hustling. Where are these things?
What are you doing?
Yeah. And sometimes I'll say, look, to be fair to them, okay, I'll give a list at the beginning of the month and go, this is what I want done. Whether you make the phone call, whatever, this is what I want done. And I tell them all the time, all my agents, don't fucking treat me like a child. If someone says no, don't go radio silent on me. Don't think that I'm going to sit and cry at my house.
I agree. Don't leave me up in the air.
I need to fucking hear the no. And what I want you to do, which is part of your job, give me some feedback. Because without feedback, I can't get better.
Bro, I've had the exact same talk with my agent because I told him, I said, don't restrict me. I know I'm an athlete. You've worked with athletes before. I said, do not restrict me. Don't put ceilings on me. Mm-hmm. And it's worked out. I said, if it's if it's VH1, if it's pop culture, let me experience this. I'm telling you I can do this. But don't put a fucking seal on me because I'm an athlete. Because that meathead mentality is going to screw me. I said, if I come in there, I promise you I will destroy that room.
But that's the whole attitude. And by the way, I would tell you, in our country, people put ceilings on themselves too much.
Yes.
And I think that's the problem, man. Like, you can't, as soon as you've told your brain, I can't do anymore, you can't do anymore. As soon as your brain thinks you can't do anymore, you're done.
Dude, I've always been a silly goose. Like all my friends when I was growing up.
By the way, don't say silly goose.
Well, that's from hey, that's how you know I've been hanging out with Cal. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's what
dude your size shouldn't be saying silly. Shouldn't be saying silly.
Shit,
yeah,
silly
dude your size should not be saying silly goose. I'm gonna go out on a limb. We're gonna have
that's
to.
That's how you know. Text Callan.
Callan can say silly goose.
Hey, text Callan. Bro, you got to drop silly goose.
Got to do from the vernacular. You can't let him rock silly goose. You should make a T-shirt that says I'm a silly goose.
I agree. Team silly goose. silly goose. That's
I'm such a
fucking
silly goose.
But I've always been basically a clown, and when I met Callan, it was just the perfect combo because Callan gives me the pass to act ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because if I'm by myself, like yesterday, I shot this show on Fox Sports Live, and it was me, another fighter, and then there's a host. Well, I can't be as silly as I want to if Callan's not there. Callan and I shot that show 2 weeks ago, and we had the entire floor cracking up. We're wiling the fuck out. We're like, dude, this isn't live. We're going to have to edit 90% of this. You guys are ridiculous. Then I go on yesterday, and I'm being silly, but I'm not really myself because I have to stay in these kind of walls. But when Callan's around, dude, all that's gone. They take the restrictors off.
It's probably what makes this so great.
Yes.
Because you probably balance him out a little bit too.
Yes. We balance each other out.
Yeah, but you both still say silly goose.
Silly goose.
That's not great.
It's not very manly.
No. That's like not. If my kid came home saying silly goose, I'd be like,
You're like, well, you're gay.
Yeah, you're in time.
Wow. So he's a homosexual.
You're in timeout. You're gonna have to go in timeout.
Dude, I've never heard either. You know who said the same thing?
Every person in the world?
No. When we first did the fight campaign, there's no name for it. And Rogan goes, God, I'm trying to think what we should call it. And Brian goes, let's call it Silly Geese. Rogan, I thought was going to pop his head off. Even I threw Calvin on the bus. I was like, that's fucking stupid, man. And then Rogan's like, literally just looked down and was like, no, shit, no. Fuck no, hell no. And I was like, no, that's fucking stupid, man. Yeah. Let's get
Check
some
that
current
off.
events
Yeah.
with Evan the Beard.
By the way, Evan, last time I was here, you had the luscious locks.
I know. Why'd you shave it, Ev?
Just felt like it's time for a change.
You know
man.
what? I've
had
feeling
that for a long time. I had that cut for a couple of years now. Everybody's got it. Time to go.
You know what?
You're Zach Brown in it right
You're
now.
miniature Zach Brown.
Yeah, I look at it a little bit like an angry garden gnome.
No,
Yeah.
you look like Zach Brown.
Yeah, but a little smaller size.
Yes, smaller Zach
I'll
Brown.
take it.
I wish you could sing like him. Fuck,
Me
that guy
too.
can
Oh,
sing.
he's the best.
best.
He's in
I
town
saw him
tonight
in
singing.
concert last year.
Dude, I saw a concert on Monday night. Where'd you see Zach? I've seen Zach a bunch of
I
times.
saw
so
Zach
good.
at the Hollywood Bowl, and he's
Dude, me too. Same
Tebow
concert.
knows him, so we had like these amazing seats.
Listen.
It was me, or it's Tim, me, and I forget who else came with us.
Dude.
It was amazing.
Okay. Zach Brown. I used to tour Larry the Cable Guy. So we were in Hollywood, Florida at the Hard Rock. And so this dude comes backstage with a little LP, got 5 songs on it, him and a guy named Chris Fryer who plays drum in the band. And we're sitting back there. I'm like, what's your name? He goes, Zach Brown. I go, oh, hi. And I go, what's going on? He goes, my manager's trying to set me up with Larry to maybe write a comedy album together. So I'm sitting talking to him, and he was like, hey, will you take this LP? Because I had a show on Sirius. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you mind playing a track at the beginning of your shows? I go, no. I go, what you want me to play? He goes, the first one. I go, Chicken Fried? He goes, yeah. Will you play? He goes, will you play that for me? I go, yeah. So I went back to my room, put it in the computer I was like, well, I'm not going to play this
Yeah,
fucking piece of
check
shit.
it out. Yeah,
It came on. I'm like, this dude's a fucking star.
phenom.
Star.
Yes.
I've known him, I introduced him to the Hanging Brains game,
Oh wow.
which he had never seen before. I had to show him in a club in Hollywood. He was like, that doesn't really happen, right? I go, oh, yeah. I said, I'll walk around here with my nuts out for as long as you want.
Welcome to the comic.
And
life.
nobody will know. And he's
Yeah.
like, everyone's going to know. I go, girls don't look at your nuts, dude. I'm just telling you right now.
they're not into
Another dude might be like, that dude's got his nuts out. But there's no
That
girl.
could make a scene. Yeah. Homeboy gets his nuts out, and then
but-
just keep on. Yeah.
Live, they're amazing. I saw a show on Monday night, guys, and I'm seeing Sturgill Simpson on Friday. Sturgill Simpson is like new country. He's like a new Waylon Jennings. I saw a guy named Chris Stapleton play on Monday. Some of you might know him. He did a duet with Justin Timberlake on the CMAs a couple weeks ago. It was so good, right?
It's kind of like bluesy.
Oh my God, his music makes you want to fucking fight at the same time.
I'm not mad at that.
No, dude, because you're in there, you're like, oh, it was so good. And his voice, it was a 3-piece band. Drums, bass, him on guitar, otherworldly. His voice, otherworldly.
How old is he?
He's going to be 37. Otherworldly, just this good old boy from Kentucky. But the chemistry that he and his wife have on stage, it's like watching Johnny and June Cash.
Wow.
You can't take your eyes off the two of them. It was mesmerizing. On top of the fact that the music is so good. You know when someone's singing and you can feel every fucking
Yeah,
word.
it gives me chills.
Oh my!
You know, it's the only thing that gives me chills, performance-wise. Sports don't.
No.
Only music.
You listen to his music, you can hear the bad decisions. You know he's been down a tough path.
Heartbreak, yeah.
Oh, but it's so fucking good.
That's rare to find these days.
It was so good. And on not jaded at all by Hollywood, even though, look, dude, I think if you wiki him, he's written 5 #1 hits for other people. I think he's written over 100 songs that are on other people's albums.
Jesus.
He's been around forever. He's just never put out an album.
You go to live music a lot? You got to hit me up. It's my favorite thing to do.
I
I'll
love...
be a couple silly geese. We'll smoke some weed and be a couple silly geese.
I'll tell you put silly on your back and I'll put goose on my back and we'll walk around
They're like,
together.
oh, those two are fucking each other. That's great. Oh, cool. Check out those silly geese fucking each other. Listen to live music.
I love live music.
It's my favorite thing.
I'm not huge on going to a stadium.
Won't do stadiums, by the way.
But if we, like, Chris Stapleton was at the El Rey, and it was
If it's
like...
a small venue, I'm fucking in.
So good.
The best thing.
I saw Weezer at the Whiskey. After the Blue album, they took a little time off. And before they came back to release the green one, which had a hash pipe on it and stuff, they played a little gig at the Whiskey just to play the Blue album once.
How amazing was that?
Oh, my God. Just to be up close
I
is
think
really when you feel it.
I bet. I think I love it because the language, it's all a mystery to me. I can't play any instrument. I can't sing. It's all a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Like any sports I can watch and I figure out the hard work, dedication, the talent. I get all that. There's no sport. Music I watch, I'm like, what the fuck?
I just sold a song to a soundtrack, a serious song. I've only been playing guitar for 9 weeks. I just sold one that they bought for their soundtrack, a movie that's shooting in March.
Really?
I was fucking around on the guitar, man, and
You just had it at home?
yeah, you know, when I've never been one who, it's not that I don't believe in therapy. I just have a hard time going, just with the way I was raised, going into a room with a complete stranger and emoting.
I think every guy does. That's
Okay.
a male thing.
That's a tough thing for me to go, so you're going to give me advice. I've never met you before, but you can tell me? Like, that's a tough thing for me to get past. To tell you the truth, the way I emote is when I'm on a plane, I just write, whether it's poetry or it's just free form or I just splurge. But I was reading the script and I knew they were looking for music and I was like, oh, I have something I wrote on a plane that fits this spot. And I just wrote a real basic tune to it and they bought it for the fucking soundtrack.
Sick, man. Congrats.
It was the craziest thing, man, because I am terrible. I mean,
Can't
like,
be that bad.
the guitar playing's terrible. I used to sing in a band, so that
Oh, really?
kind of,
Oh, fuck.
yeah, that I kind of got.
So you have a music background.
Well, I was drunk and I sang. Is that music?
That counts.
Okay.
You're closer to Metallica than I am.
Listen, I'll karaoke the fuck out of something too.
Yeah.
Will you? What's your song? Do you have a go-to?
Well, I mean, the white person anthem's freaking Journey.
Oh, you go
Don't
Journey?
Stop Believing, yeah.
Do you ever go Bon Jovi?
No, not really. I feel like it brings the crowd down.
What? Wanted
Well,
Dead or
depends what-
Alive?
well,
I've seen a million faces, but I rocked them all.
Dude, it's-
maybe the best line in
it's-
any fucking
It's
rock and roll song
standard,
ever.
though. It's standard, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I like to mix it up.
I go a little bluesy, like I'll do, or a little hip hoppy or R&B ish. I love doing a little Marvin Gaye.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
man, I'll get right in that.
Dude, we gotta do a karaoke night. You know who loves them? Callan did a thing where he sang on stage, and he sang that song, Mother.
I did that show.
You did too?
I did that show at the goddamn Comedy Jam.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Did you see Callan's?
I didn't do C. Callens. I heard he sang Mother with his shirt off.
Yes.
So I went shirt off too, and I asked people who has a better body, me or Brian
What'd they
Callen.
say?
Me.
Yes. Your body's, I've seen your body on Instagram.
It's way better.
It's not
than
bad at all.
It's a little thicker than Brian's. A little skinny.
Yeah, Callan's worried about that. He's worried he looks like Kermit the Frog. But
I sang "Wrecking Ball" by Miley Cyrus.
Ooh.
But rock and roll Wrecking Ball.
Ooh, bro, you mixed it up.
Oh, I fucking
Remix.
killed it!
Wolf in Town remix. Callan was dead. He got off. He's like, bro, I might start singing. He was dead serious. He had like that false confidence. I swear to God, he had that false confidence. He goes, bro, I'm thinking about singing. I was like, are you serious? He goes, I mean, dude, you should have heard the crowd.
Yeah.
They fucking loved it.
You were like, I was part of the crowd.
I was like, well, no, I feel like it's a bad idea. Maybe focus on acting,
Yeah.
stand up. Maybe because as soon as he said, again, that's that Swift Army knife. Someone told me he's good at singing. Bring another one out. You know, fucking guy. All right, what do you got, Ev?
All right, we'll do the first current event is the NFL suspending Alden Smith for a year.
God damn
Your
it!
boy Alden Smith is done.
Is this
Good friend.
from the last incident?
Nope, this is new, right? He failed another drug test.
Yeah, he pled guilty to a
PEDs.
hit and run, drunk driving, and vandalism.
Yeah, that was the last
Oh,
one.
this from the last one?
This was from the last one, yeah.
Oh, so this is
He was still on the Niners when this happened.
he was still on the Niners. They released him.
Yes.
And then he signed with the Raiders a
Yes.
1-year deal. So, but I thought this was from something else. I thought he failed the substance
I
test.
think this was from the previous charge. I am really back
There's
in
been so many of them. Like he's got like 3
Does it
DUIs.
say or no? Does it say is there? Because for me, I thought it said he failed the substance abuse.
It says that in September he pled guilty to a hit and run,
that's the old
drunk
shit.
driving, and
That's the old-
vandalism
that's nothing
charging
new.
from
we're-
an August 6th.
Do you know Alden? Have you met Alden?
I haven't.
Phenomenal guy, great guy.
Which is why I think
he needs
people
fucking
keep
help.
giving him a second chance, because I think my instinct would be he's not Greg Hardy. People actually like him in the locker room and all that
Yeah, he's
stuff.
not hitting women.
Let me ask you a question about second chances, because I believe in second chances. And not only do I believe in second chances, I believe that whether you agree with the verdict or not, once someone goes through the judicial system, this is our system. So let's take Greg Hardy. Dude clearly beat that woman. Dude clearly should have been in jail. She took a settlement. Okay, that's the way our legal system works. Now, as someone who believes in second chances, I think he should have the right to play. Now, if I was owning a team, would I put him? Would I hire him? No, because I think he's bad for the team.
He's a good player though.
but
he's productive.
It doesn't matter.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I wouldn't fucking hire that guy for anything.
My thing is, I think chemistry in team sports is underrated. As somebody who loves
It's
the Red
huge.
Sox, and I look at the last team that won, that was not a team where you went in thinking, this team's
No, they're not superstars. That's all pro sports.
right. So if you have somebody who disrupts a locker room like that,
Yes.
I just don't think it's good for my team. No matter how good he is on the field, look at what he's already done. He's the headline at that.
That's all they talk about.
That's all they
and
talk
he's
about.
causing drama. I think, when you're talking about second chances, I think people can redeem themselves and they learn from the mistakes. But then sometimes you just have a bad guy.
I think he's a bad
Hardy's
guy.
just a bad fucking human being.
Agreed.
He has no business being on any professional team making any money. Good player, yes. Would not have on my team.
Agreed. But do you
Alden
agree
Smith
that?
is a good guy.
But do you
who's
agree
young.
that do you agree that he has the right, at least? Because some people like the NFL should ban him. I think that's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope because the woman that he hit took a settlement.
I'm saying, yeah.
So she gave him the free pass.
Yes. And
She's the one who gave him the out.
yes. And on top of that, guys, this is America. It's like when I still hear people saying, Mike Vick shouldn't be on a team. Mike Vick did his time.
True. Doesn't make him a good person. You don't have to root
No,
for him,
no,
but
no.
he deserves the right to play.
He did his time. As far as the justice system that is set
Yes.
up,
Current-
he did his time. It's like Jones should be able to come back and fight.
True.
They did their time.
Yeah.
Now, whether you agree with it or not,
I
yes.
agree. I agree. But yeah, the rules state he did his time.
Yes.
He should be able to play. Yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough. The thing is that with people like that with the domestic violence typically isn't a one-time
Agreed.
thing. He learned it from his family or a close friend or an uncle or something like that. Maybe he was a victim of domestic violence. But whenever you see someone, even if they don't get convicted, there's guys in our sports who never got convicted. Even if they never go to trial or they never do prison time, it's eventually going to catch up with them.
I
because
agree.
they're eventually going to do it again and again. It's a trait that they possess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's bad news, man.
And look, I personally wouldn't put any of those people on my team. I am glad, I grew up in Massachusetts. I'm glad I'm a Patriots fan. Hernandez kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit, but I'm just saying.
Talking about him.
Murderer, and who
serial killer.
who got away with
The
murder.
serial killer.
Yeah, serial killer. But I don't want those guys on you. I think they're bad for your team, and I think they're bad for sports in general.
You know what's weird though? If Hernandez was found not guilty, the team would have picked. He's so talented, team would have picked him up like that.
I agree. And again, I would think he has the right. I wouldn't want the Patriots to pick him up.
Really?
No.
Even if you want him a Super Bowl? What's weird is if he went to, let's say, the Oakland Raiders, everyone in the world would be mad except for Oakland. Oakland,
Yes.
fuck yeah, we got Aaron Hernandez. He's a beast of
Yeah.
a player, and they're gonna make excuses for it.
I mean,
That's what's weird to me.
I will tell you what's crazy. You go back to Greg Hardy and Jeff Van Gundy said this on the broadcast. They were doing a game with the Clippers and the Mavericks when DeAndre Jordan came back to Dallas for the first time. And they were booing DeAndre Jordan. And Jeff Van Gundy said, isn't it funny? They're booing a guy who just changed his mind, but they cheered Greg Hardy on Sunday.
That's insane.
They booed a dude who just was like, you know what? This doesn't feel right to me. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't signed anything yet. I have a God-given right to change my fucking mind if I want to. I know I led you down the wrong path. I'm going to apologize. But they booed that guy. But Greg Hardy
got a sack. They cheered him.
Cheered him as soon as he stepped on field. Dude pushed one of your coaches. He got in the face of arguably the biggest star on your team. You know, he went on Twitter recently talking about how he was innocent and you guys don't know all the facts. Well, we saw some pretty fucking horrible pictures.
It is terrible.
Dude. So sports fans are they're so myopic. Right? Because it's like look,
fanatics.
But if you look like Urban Meyer, and you got a guy who coaches for Ohio State, he ran easily the most crooked program in the country. Is he a Florida fan?
No, he's a good friend of mine.
Urban is?
Yes.
Okay. He ran the most crooked in Florida.
Why do you say that?
Did you look at you want to pull up the arrests while he was there?
Well, he can't help that.
They all played. They all kept playing.
Well, fuck, man.
Okay.
But is his job as a coach to police this, or does he just win games? His job is to coach the best players, right?
No, we're just going back to that Greg Hardy argument now. Now, because Urban, now you're being myopic and you're sticking up for your buddy. You're sticking up for your buddy because here's the deal. Listen to me.
Well, because I know him personally.
And then you should know, dude is the master at running a crooked fucking program.
No, he's the master of winning college football games.
Look, how many? Will you find out how many people?
31.
Thank you. 30.
Oh, look up Pete Carroll. How many did Pete
again?
Carroll?
But also, by the way, and Pete Carroll, look up how many girls he fucked when he was at USC too.
Again,
is that on there? It should be on there.
Again, that doesn't make him a bad person.
No, I didn't say bad person.
That's college football
I didn't say
at the highest level.
Did I say bad person?
No.
I said that he ran a crooked program. He turned his back on some pretty fucking crooked kids in his program.
Name a coach who hasn't, who's successful. Go.
I can't.
Just give me one name.
But I can't speak on it because I don't know. What if I said Bobby Knight?
Come on, Bobby.
Was he crooked?
Knight? For sure.
Nick Saban?
But oh my God, under your term of crooked, yes.
My term of crooked, which is not calling out people who kill other people and still playing them, is that crazy?
Who did he kill? No.
Everybody fucking knew he killed somebody.
Aaron Hernandez?
Oh my God!
Not in Florida.
Yes, especially in Florida. Are you fucking crazy? How does he kill?
There's no evidence.
There's the dude who was shot in the eye. He was like, yeah, he shot me in the eye in an alley. What the fuck?
That guy's crazy. We can't listen to him.
Oh my God.
That guy might be crazy. So if there's no evidence, right? And
there are 31 people arrested. What do you mean there's no evidence?
Yeah, but then whose job is it to keep those guys in prison?
His fucking job.
No, he doesn't work for the fucking police department.
Are you telling me that his job isn't to?
It's to win football games.
So if he has criminals on his team, cool.
And they clear him to play, yes, it's his job to put them in the game and win football games. It is not his job to say, hey, listen,
okay,
you did this, you might go to prison, I can't play you. That's not his job.
Is that arrests or convictions?
Arrests.
Okay. Let me ask you.
In college.
Oh, yeah.
Who hasn't been arrested?
Yeah, for murder. I don't know.
One guy for murder.
What are the other arrests for?
I don't know.
Fighting, drunk driving.
No.
Yes.
For being, listen, okay.
What about Ohio State? What about Tressel?
Dude, Tressel got in trouble for sticking up for his guys, for not ratting out his guys.
Oh, so then Tressel's a good guy.
No, he got in trouble, didn't he?
He turned his back on certain things?
Did he get in trouble?
Yes.
Okay. Urban didn't get in trouble. You know why? Because he pretended he was tired and had to quit all of a sudden.
Whoa, no.
Him and Pete Carroll.
Legit problem.
He and Pete Carroll all of a sudden.
Problem.
Yeah, you know what it was? Shit was about to hit the fucking fan.
No, not at all.
Oh my God.
So then he takes over for Tressel at Ohio State, now the best team in the nation, won national championship.
He's a phenomenal football coach.
I'm telling you, Nick Saban, any coach you can think of, has to walk this weird line.
Will you Google how many people have been arrested during Nick Saban at Alabama? You're Googling the perp line. I mean, I'm just saying, let's go to these major.
I've got the whole list of Florida Gators arrested during Urban Meyer's tenure.
Hey, give me some highlights. Give me some highlights.
Well, we got one guy, Chris Rainey, arrested on a charge of aggravated stalking, which is a felony apparently. Stalking's a little
Okay,
weird.
if they don't put him in prison, he's playing.
I'm saying
It's not Urban's job.
But you just said you wouldn't hire Greg Hardy. You said I don't want those guys on my team.
Hey, I'm not running. Yeah, but that's me. I'm not running a major university and have to win games.
But you're
I don't
telling
have I don't have contracts to meet in terms.
Please, have you Googled Alabama arrests since Nick Saban?
Do Miami. Do Florida State. Do Florida State.
Yeah, but
James Winston raped girls.
That's one guy.
Okay, it's your captain of the team.
And he stole some crab legs.
Yes, stole crab legs.
And raped allegedly.
Allegedly, they settled out of court.
Yes. But I would tell you that a lot of people settle out of court just because they don't want things. I don't think he was necessarily innocent. That one's a little muddier than Aaron Hernandez shooting some guy in the eyeball.
Well, Aaron Hernandez is a bad guy. Aaron Hernandez, he's the exception. He's a serial killer. That's
so crazy he is.
He's a straight.
By the way, and I know I'm going to get Ohio State. You motherfucker! It's funny. No Florida fans are going to be. But by the way, guys, a phenomenal coach. Don't get me wrong. If I was going to win one game, I can't say that I wouldn't pick him over Saban. I don't know, but he's a phenomenal coach, and he gets people to play for him. So I'm not saying if I was hiring, I'd be like,
all I'm saying to you is that any major university, every coach has to do this to play the game.
I agree with
that. The way the system's set up.
But
you can't judge it.
But 31 arrests?
I'm sure there's more on other teams.
Any that you know of?
Probably USC back in the day. I bet USC was high. Penn State.
But we're talking. Well, that was a dude. That was like a grown man.
That's a grown man. I'm just saying. Joe Paterno turned his back on that. He didn't ruffle the feathers.
I think Joe Paterno was actually literally blind. So he didn't see it.
He's blind and can't hear.
I don't think he could. I don't think. Did you find Saban?
At all these universities, you have to turn your back.
Let's just for shits and giggles. Let's just see. Let's just see. How many?
LSU is tied for first in SEC with Alabama for most football players arrested in 2015.
How many?
Let's
400.
see here.
400, you said?
400.
Any for murder?
Do the entire SEC. Watch that. That's your friends. That's the South.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. And again, great coach. I don't even know how we got on this.
I don't either. Oh, we're talking about Greg Hardy.
Right.
And then you start talking shit about Urban Meyer, and he's a buddy of mine.
Great coach. Great coach, guys.
All I'm saying to
you're saying he knew nothing about it?
No, he might have. I'm saying every coach does this.
Okay.
That's the rules of the game. That's like being upset that he gives the players Gatorade. Everyone's on Gatorade.
I think it's
the exact same thing. That's the way you play the game. There's Gatorade, and you turn your back on certain stuff.
Okay. I'm not sure if that's right.
No, that's the exact same thing.
Okay.
If you want to play the game, you got to turn your back on your stars.
Okay.
If they do some shit, you got to be like, I didn't see shit. Are you good for Saturday?
Okay.
All right, just
so
whatever.
then you are okay with Greg Hardy being on your team.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm just a little confused.
I'm not Jerry Jones. You wouldn't play on Big Brown's team.
Okay,
if it's the Denver Big Browns. He's not playing on
what do we got? The Denver Big Browns. I love that shit. That sounds like
it sounds like a porno.
Yeah, it really does. What do you got?
All right, we move on to the next topic.
Do you have a number for me?
Did you find
Just give us a number and then we'll go to the next topic.
All right. LSU, 15 arrests by 13 players.
Oh, some dude doubled down.
Couple of them are just couple bad dudes.
Couple guys doubled down.
So Alabama has the same.
It's part of the game.
Right.
You're not recruiting the best athletes in the nation, and
what
they're all good citizens.
I guess the problem I have again, I think Urban Meyer is the best at what he does. I just hate the holier than thou kind of. When he was talking about who was he talking about recently? Jameis Winston, where he was talking about, well, that wouldn't have happened on my team. Well, I wouldn't have let him get away with that. And I was like, dude,
he has to say that.
It's sanctimonious shit. But that's the thing. Like,
you get Paterno. What? All the shit where they're like, oh, the whole nation's like, oh my God, they recruited players with strippers and hookers and had these parties?
Oh, you were talking about Patino.
Patino, yes. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
How do you think you get a kid who should be in the NBA
I agree.
who has to play college? How do you think you get him to go to university?
And how bad do you feel if you're providing strippers and hookers and they go somewhere else? You're like, I mean, what the?
You're like, what the fuck we gotta do? I mean, we showed him everything.
I mean,
did Tina come out? Yeah, Tina came out.
Did she?
Tina with the fat ass. She was there.
She tickle his asshole because some guys like that.
Yeah, she said she fucking licked his asshole. You kidding me? I'm gonna send him a text. Tina licked your asshole, and you went to fucking Kentucky. Fuck you, man.
Can I tell you something? I was on stage this week in Dallas. I was talking. Somehow masturbation came up, and I was talking to some guy in the crowd, and I was like, "Yeah, but dude, if you're doing it right, it takes you 2 minutes tops, right?" And he goes, "Dude, it takes me like 18 minutes." And I go, "To jerk yourself off, it takes 18 minutes?" I was like, you need to start incorporating the other hand, dude.
Yeah, bro. You're doing it way too much.
You're doing it wrong.
18 minutes.
18 minutes.
Well, now you're talking about a cardio workout.
Yeah. By the way, if you're jerking yourself off for 18 minutes, you don't like yourself very
Here's
much.
some Popeye forearms.
Yeah.
What else you got, Ev?
Forearm.
Yeah. Well, if you're using both.
Who jerks off with both hands?
It's called the stranger.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll put a ski mask on, and then I'll jerk off with my left hand, and I'll punch myself in the ribs with my right hand like I'm getting mugged. Yeah. It's just if you want to take the stranger to the next level, beat the shit out of yourself. That's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sounds like that'll do it. All right. Next one is Joe Rogan put out a podcast over the after the Rousey fight that had it was him, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Dana, and they made Tony made a joke about how if Cyborg wanted to make it down to bantamweight, the first thing she should do is chop off her dick, and she'll make the weight.
Okay.
And now Cyborg and Tony are going after each other on Twitter.
They're going super hard after each other.
Well, first of all, if on Twitter I got my money on Tony. Off of Twitter, I got my money on Cyborg.
100%. And I think she goes, I'm going to show up to one of your shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tony would have to be a little scared, man. Shit, I'd be scared if she showed up to one of my shows. She's a big girl.
Let me ask you something.
I'd have to double leg a bitch in front of all my friends. In my nice clothes.
If she fights a dude, regular dude who doesn't have a whole lot of fighting ability,
Like just a
regular off the street dude, how big a dude could she beat up, you think?
That's a great question.
Could she took down a 200-pound dude?
Yes.
For real?
I think so.
With punches or?
Dude, she's on some shit. She's jacked. And
So
she knows how to hit.
So you think she's 140 pounds?
No, I bet she's well, she's cutting weight now. I bet she's a solid 165.
Oh, then
There's a picture of her next to Misha Tate. There's a picture of her next to Misha Tate, and she looks enormous. I think when she wasn't trying to cut off weight, she'd walk around about 180, solid muscle.
Fuck you.
175.
180?
I bet 175.
How tall is she?
I mean, pretty tall. I mean, she's not short.
Oh, then she could.
She's a big girl.
Definitely take down a 200-pound man.
She would fucking rip Tony's dick off and drink it like acai. You know what I'm saying? Like she would fuck him up.
Is that how you pronounce that? ACAI?
Acai.
Acai. How come I said acai?
I used to too.
It's acai. You pronounce everything individually?
Yes.
Acai.
Acai.
It makes you sound smarter.
Acai bowl.
Acai bowl.
Yeah.
Acai bowl.
Tony's in trouble, man. But also, she doesn't want to go to war with Tony. People don't realize Tony Hinchcliffe, he writes for the roast on Comedy Central. Any joke really you've heard that people get roast, he's writing it.
She's not going to win a war of the words.
No, just go find him at the Comedy Store and rip his dick off. That's your best bet. Go and grab that dick.
Grab that dick.
Grab that dick, girl.
What
else you got?
I'm so glad I've never said that to someone before. Grab that dick. Grab sounds really a little too aggressive for me.
Go ahead and grab that dick.
Hold maybe?
Hold that dick.
Caress?
I'm not
Cradle that dick.
either of them.
But grab sounds like you're...
Grab's aggressive.
Grab sounds like you're taking it. You know what I mean? When you grab something, you grab it for yourself. So when you're grabbing a dick...
Either way, Tony would be in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't even, yeah. You better hope Rogan's around if that does happen. I can't help you out either, my man. I love Tony.
Yeah.
What else, Dev?
Last one, I want to show you guys this video of Sage Northcutt bending a frying pan with his bare hands.
What?
Oh, yeah.
So Sage
Check this
Northcutt
out.
is this young, well, is he 19?
Yeah.
He's this 19-year-old phenom in the UFC. He's a dime piece. He goes to school at Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the biggest up-and-comer.
Wait, he goes to college?
Yeah, he goes to Texas A&M.
Ready for this?
Yes.
What's happening?
He's bending a frying pan with his hand. Damn, he's rolling it up like a newspaper. He has a body for days on him. He's a superhero.
I mean,
I want him in this page.
Let me ask you a question.
This page girl to have sex.
So how much...
I want him to have a kid.
How much vagina is that dude getting?
You know, that's what I said. I bet he's fucking killing it. I bet he's tearing it up more than Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know what, though? He
You
is
have a girlfriend?
balls deep in the Bible. He's super religious.
The dude who just folded the frying pan in half?
Yeah. He's crazy religious.
He did that with the strength of God?
Yes. It's all Jesus Christ.
Wait, so he's not balls deep in anything?
Nothing. He's balls deep in Bible study.
So where is he? How are you a UFC fighter but you're going to college?
Oh, you can do that because there's been guys who.
What weight is he fighting at?
I think he's is he 170 or 155?
Is he good?
Yes, he's a phenom. I think he's had 2 fights or 1 fight. He's destroying people. He's super athletic. There's videos of him on I was stalking his Instagram because he's a cutie pie. There's pictures of him and his dad.
Is he a silly goose?
No, he's not a silly goose. Sorry. I wish he was. I wish he was.
I wish
you was silly goose.
I wish you was a silly
Hey, you a
goose.
silly goose? Let's train. No, he has like freaking tires on. He's marching up like he's a kid marching up this like crazy hill. Like he's a 55. He's a lightweight, so he was born to do this. But he's in college. You know what I'm saying? It's a full load, and he's fighting.
That's amazing. I mean, so he's not having sex.
I don't think sometimes there's guys who preach, say they walk that walk, and then some of them I know are just.
Here's the deal.
Boy, they're wild.
There's Tim Tebow virgin, which is real.
Yeah,
and then there's when Britney Spears said when she was a virgin.
Yes, big difference.
Two different. There's two different.
Complete different.
Yeah, when she was saying she was a virgin, that means she hadn't been double teamed yet.
Yes, that means that means she didn't go fully.
I mean, she's
anal.
only seen one dick at a time, not
it's
two.
True. Now let me ask you this.
All right, but are you gonna come on my podcast?
Yes, man.
Okay.
We got fan questions, so don't run out here yet.
I'm not.
We'll knock these out. But you're a football fan, right?
Yes.
Do you like money?
Yes.
So you like football, you like money.
Yes.
Perfect. So I got the perfect thing for you. And also, if you're a fight fan and you also like money, DraftKings.com is
Won money
your
5
answer.
straight weeks on DraftKings.
Boom, son. DraftKings, you win huge prizes every single time you play. You can do NFL. You can do UFC this weekend. UFC is in Mexico with Neil Magny and Kelvin fighting each other. Should be a great matchup. I have Neil Magny, and he is an underdog, so quote me on that. I got Neil Magny winning a 5-round decision. Won't be the most exciting fight, but Neil Magny for the win on there. That should be good for you on DraftKings.com. You can get your piece of a $1 billion in cash prizes at DraftKings.com. Hurry to DraftKings.com right now and enter promo code FIGHTER. Again, that's DraftKings.com, promo code FIGHTER. Do you have a pick this weekend for you? Do you have like a pick maybe?
For the DraftKings?
Yes. Well, not even DraftKings. Like you're an NFL guy, right?
Yeah, I have not made. I bet one game a weekend.
Okay.
And I have not made my pick this weekend. I bet one game a weekend because I used to be a bit of a degenerate gambler, and
so this probably isn't healthy for you.
Well, no, it's fine. It's actually really healthy.
Y'all know, man. What's that promo code?
But I would now. I'm down to one game a weekend because I found that as soon as you start betting more than one game. But I felt good. I would go, okay, I'm going to bet money on one game, and I'll watch this one game. And so
I like that. See, I used to bet, especially when I was fighting, and my weekends are like my only time to de-stress.
Yeah.
But I found out when I was betting, I was stressed out on Sunday. So because I'm like, fuck, and like pissed. My brother, he's like a huge sports fan. So if we bet on a team and it would lose, it would like ruin his week. He's the guy, the Nuggets play however many fucking games, 100 games. If they would lose a game, it'd like ruin his night. Like, bro, they play tomorrow night.
My brother's that way with the Red
It's
Sox.
Weird, man.
Yeah.
And then I found I was fucking up my vibe, so I had to stop doing it. I don't know, man. Let's go to fan questions.
All right. First fan question. So I've become quite the coffee addict as of late. Just out of curiosity, how much coffee do you run through on a daily basis? And do you have any recommendations for a healthier alternative to regular sugar?
Are you a coffee guy?
I do a 5-shot espresso every morning.
That's aggressive.
You know.
And you make it yourself? You have a nice espresso machine?
I sometimes make it myself. If I'm on the road, obviously I don't, but I'll make it at the house.
You
Yeah.
a Starbucks guy?
I like giving money to local businesses.
Me too, but sometimes, really, I'm a huge fan of Starbucks during the holidays because their Christmas blend, I love it. Their Christmas
What'd you
blend.
think about the cup? Not how you.
I have zero issues. Yeah, look at this shit.
Who cares?
What? Especially if they spell my name right.
Yeah.
They always spell it wrong. When they spell it right, I literally celebrate. But
Well, but let me ask you a question. My daughter has a interesting spelling name too. Her name's Caitlyn, and it's with a K and 2 N's at the end.
Caitlyn Jenner fucked you.
She gets so mad. And I'm like, babe, doesn't
to
the
fuck
coffee still taste the same?
Nah, to fuck your day up, man.
Really?
It'll fuck your day
But
up.
the coffee still
It
tastes the
lets me
same.
know that I'm not famous at all. If they spell my name wrong, I'm like, you know what? I'm just not doing well.
So the coffee's going to taste that much better when people
If
say
they spell it right, sometimes I post on Instagram.
Do you?
Oh,
You
yeah.
ever jerk off in your coffee?
I haven't, not yet. I haven't. that Christmas blend
By the
so
way,
good makes me want to.
If he's looking for a sugar alternative.
A lot of pineapple juice and fucking for sugar alternative, obviously stevia.
Yeah.
And if you're just finding about it from now, you probably are part of vices.
Yeah,
But
and don't
stevia's everywhere.
Don't believe the hype. Look, agave is fine, but it's still
sugar.
sugar.
Still raises your insulin levels.
Yeah.
Yes. Stevia is the way to go. Natural stevia, yes.
You know someone's going to name their kid Stevia soon.
I'm not mad at it. I
What's
call
your,
stevia
what's your
Steve.
baby's name? Stevia.
Stevia. El Stevia. What's your daughter's name? La Drya?
Yeah. What's your other son's name? Fabrice.
La Washa. It's La Washa, La Drya, and that's Stevia over there.
Mm-hmm.
I just call Stevia Steve, and most people get it. Starbucks doesn't carry Stevia though, so it's whatever. All right, Ev, what else you got? Love me some coffee.
All right, we'll just wrap up on this last one. Keep it short today since we've been in here for a while. This year, I met an absolute smoke show of a girl. She's perfect for me, and I'm getting to the age where I'm thinking about making a proper relationship with this chick. Thing is, my dirtbag brain is always freaking out and wanting to be single. Does this ever stop, and do you guys deal with the same thing?
100% every day. My
Yeah.
biggest Achilles heel is women, man. Not drugs, not fast cars, not clothes. It's girls.
I would tell you, you'll know you're ready to settle down with her when you stop referring to her as a smoke show and a chick.
That's probably a good sign. Too.
I tell you something. I married my wife, and she's a beautiful woman. I've never referred to her as a smoke show or a chick.
Yeah, I've never called my girl smoke show.
There's a certain level of respect,
yeah.
right? So I would say as soon as you stop, that's when you'll be like, yeah, maybe it's time for me. But
Yeah, you know what?
You
Yeah.
almost called her a piece. So
Yeah. you also know that whoever you meet, you're always gonna think the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Even you might might buy a huge crib and you think that's the answer. You're gonna be looking at something else on the other side of the street. You might buy a fancy car. I thought when I bought my Porsche, I've always wanted one since I was a kid. I was like, I'm good. No, after 3 months, you get used to driving it.
Yeah.
It becomes everyday car to you. You're like, well, now I want that. What's the next best thing? So if you're always looking at the other side of the fence, you're never gonna be happy, man.
I will tell you something. You know what? For me, how I knew I was going to marry my wife, it was the first woman I had ever met where I didn't put any airs on. I've since the day I met her, always been 100% me.
Really. That's
And
pretty cool.
for me, like that, I realized that like 2 weeks in, I'm like, oh, I haven't done any of that.
That bullshit.
Yeah, not
the fake.
not a drop of it. And that's when I was like, I think this is the one, because it never even dawned on me to do the dance. And so I would tell you, for me, and when I see my friends who are married and they're different around me than they are around their wife,
Ooh,
I
that's
always
a
think,
bummer.
oh yeah, and it's going to end in divorce, because
agree.
you can't be somebody else.
I agree. The other thing is, I think for me, the reason why I stopped being this freaking playboy, I was terrible. I was disgusted with myself for a while. But I see friends who are older than me and they're single with no kids. And I'm like, God, that guy, I don't want to be like that. Yeah. He's not happy. He wish he made better decisions. He met some great girls and let him go. I know I don't want to be that guy. So that'll sober you up and quit being such a dog.
Yeah.
Meet someone who's like 45, 50, who's still single, and you're like, holy shit, man.
It doesn't look great.
No, it's a bad look.
Yeah, it doesn't.
My
look
man,
great.
I can't thank you enough for.
Thank you. Can I throw
holding
a
this
couple
thing
things
down.
in there?
100%. You can throw whatever you want at me.
My podcast called Fairly Normal with Josh Wolf.
Great, man. I love it.
I've had Tony Jeffries on. I have a mixture of people on there. But we have a nice, like this week, a woman named Tiffany Haddish was on my show.
I listened to it. Super interesting, man.
Dude, and first of all, she's a comedian. She's on the Carmichael Show. But she told the story about how she didn't know how to read until she was 15.
Yeah, no, 14.
14. And that her theater teacher finally made her learn how to.
She could read like McDonald's because people said it, but
Right.
she couldn't read.
But she faked it. She got by just on hustle, which I thought was great. But then she also told a great story about taking a shit in some dude's shoes.
Yes.
Who did her wrong? She said, "Yeah, I boo-booed in his Jordans."
I boo-booed in his Jordans. No, listen to this podcast. If you guys like the Fighting Kid, you're gonna love this.
And then go to comedian Josh Wolf if you want to tour dates. But through the end of this year, all I got left is Phoenix, December 10th, 11th, and 12th. And I'm opening up a brand new comedy club in St. Louis, the Funny Bone, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Would love to see you guys out there.
Nice, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Dude.
This is the Fighter and the Wolf. We're out.
Oh.